Welcome everybody to another at-home table read. Tonight we're tackling, honestly, I think one of my favorite movies just ever. I love this movie. I grew up watching it, and it's awesome. So we're going to be tackling The Addams Family, originally directed by Barry Sonnenfeld. But tonight, a bit of a different cast taking it on. On action description, we have Jeremy. Fantastic. I'm going to be Gomez. As Morticia, we have Angi. She's hanging out down there somewhere. As Wednesday, we have Lynne. Fantastic. As Fester, we have Jimmy. Perfect. As Granny Addams, where's she at?
Yay!
Perfect. As Pugsley, along with a few others, we have Curtis. Awesome. And I also just noticed he is wearing those stripes. Way to be on with that one, Curtis. As Margaret Alford, we have Carina. Perfect. As her husband, Tully, we have Erik. Perfect. As one of our villains tonight, Abigail Craven, we have Nicole.
Well, Word.
Perfect. As Susan, Ophelia, and a couple others, we have Bridget. And rounding out the cast, as Cousin It, along with a few others, we have George. Perfect. Jeremy, take us away.
Thanks. The Addams Family by Larry Wilson and Carolyn Thompson. Rewrite by Paul Rudd, Nick. Based on the characters of Charles Addams. The Addams Family. Fade in. Exterior Addams Mansion. Front steps. Christmas Eve. A group of carolers, their eager faces upturned, sings an endless and cloying roundelay of Little Drummer Boy. They sing with self-righteous good cheer. As they pompously begin their umpteenth verse, the camera slowly pans up the Addams mansion, past the black wreath on the front door, past broken windows, weather-beaten shingles, a creaking shutter. The camera continues to pan to the roof where the Addams family members, Gomez, Morticia, Granny, Pugsley, Wednesday, and Lurch, their faithful butler, gleefully pour a cauldron of bubbling, steaming pitch over the edge. As the cauldron tips, the camera pushes inside. The blackness of the pitch fills the screen. Titles begin, dissolve to interior dim hallway, 7 o'clock a.m. See close-up, an oversized cuckoo clock. The clock is perfect replica of the Addams family house. Down to the creaking shutter, it chimes the hour. In one window, a little mechanical Gomez bends a mechanical Morticia back until she's almost off her feet and plants a kiss between her clockwork decollage. 1, 2, 3 mechanical kisses, counting towards 7 o'clock. In another window, a mechanical Pugsley hangs a mechanical Wednesday from a noose on a gallows up and down. Meanwhile, little bursts of fog float off the rooftop, where a little mechanical Granny cranks her fog machine. The front door of the house pops open and a mechanical Lurch appears and begins sweeping. Just then, Thing, the disembodied hand with the full-bodied personality, climbs into view over the back of the clock. Thing leaps to the floor and scampers down the hall. Low tracking shot follows Thing along the hallway. He runs past a couple of doors, past a pair of legs in pajamas, feet in bedroom slippers. He skids to a halt and backtracks to the legs. He pulls on the cuff of the pajama pants. They belong to Gomez, who stands in the doorway to interior Fester's room. Gomez wears a fez and a smoking jacket over his pajamas. Even at this early hour, he puffs on his trademark cigar. Gomez is all enthusiasm, or all despair. At the moment, he radiates unfathomable woe.
Think of it, Thing. He's been gone for 25 years. For 25 years, we've attempted to contact Fester in the great beyond.
The room is a dusty, cobweb-filled, long, unoccupied shrine to Gomez's lost brother Fester. Gomez drifts in from the doorway. The room has remained untouched since Fester's disappearance as a teenager. The thick coating of dust and cobweb adorns the mementos of a rapscallion's youth, a football pennant from Alcatraz, headless sports trophies, a high school photo with all the other students keeping as much distance from Fester as possible, as he lovingly and morosely surveys the room.
And for 25 years, nothing. Not a whisper, not a clue.
Oh, yes, yes.
I'm beginning to think my brother is truly lost.
Gomez sighs. Thing tugs at his cuff, pulling him towards the interior hallway same time. Galloping ahead of Gomez, Thing leaps onto an old-fashioned door latch, and the door swings open into interior Gomez and Morticia's bedroom same time. Gomez approaches the bed. Asleep on scarlet satin sheets is Morticia.
Look at her. I would die for her. I would kill for her. Either way, what bliss.
Low-voiced, incisive, and subtle. With Morticia, smiles are rare. The ghostly whiteness of her complexion is offset by the red of the pillowcase, upon which her hair is spread like a diabolic halo. A dark garbo, sultry and remote, she's a ruined beauty. Morticia opens her eyes.
Unhappy, darling?
Oh, yes, yes. Completely.
Interior Pugsley's room, same time. Pugsley crouches on the floor and playing with his kid-sized chemistry set. The walls of his room are covered with road signs he's collected. Bridge out. Detour. Excavation ahead. Dangerous undertow. Keep clear. High voltage. Sawed-off stop signs. Still on their poles are stacked in the corner. In another corner stands a cylindrical floor-to-ceiling fish tank filled with piranha. This tubby, energetic monster of a 9-year-old boy has every chance of growing up to be the public monster his parents would be proud of. He mixes chemicals in a beaker. The brew steams. Grinning wickedly, Pugsley swallows it down. He contorts, undergoing the beginnings of a transformation, then shrinks to the size of a mouse. Laughing, he crawls out of his human-sized pajamas. Interior attic, same time. Solemn and mournful, 10-year-old Wednesday has black hair and white skin like her mother. She sits on a stool among the stored Addams family objects. One end of a string tied to her tooth, the other tied to a trapdoor. The trapdoor is flung open. Granny pokes her head through. She's a giggly hag who looks like she was in the bathtub when the hairdryer fell in. Wednesday's pulled tooth swings at the end of the string.
Thank you, Grandmama.
In a foul mood, Granny tromps up into the attic.
You kids are going to have to kill your own breakfast this morning.
Wednesday opens a cigar box. Inside the box are assorted human and animal teeth, fangs, and dentures, along with a collection of glass eyes. Wednesday drops her tooth in the box. Cut to interior Gomez and Morticia's bedroom at the same time. Gomez takes Morticia in his arms. As she languidly drapes herself across his chest, she is caught in a sudden shaft of sunlight. She squints on the bedside table beside her. Morticia's oversized carnivorous orchid wilts.
Gomez, the sun. Il me pierce comme un pignard.
Fish. That's French.
Oui.
Cara mia.
He kisses his way up to her neck, then suddenly, bursting with enthusiasm and a sense of purpose, leaps from the bed, drawing his bedside saber from its sheath and brandishing it at the offending beam.
En garde, monsieur!
He thrusts and parries, pantomiming a duel with the shaft of light.
Gomez?
Got it. Querida?
Last night you were unhinged. You were like some desperate howling demon. You frightened me. Do it again.
Gomez instantly aflame. Cut to exterior rooftop same time. Granny delivers a swift kick to her fog machine.
Lousy bucket of boots.
The fog machine, straight out of a Jules Verne nightmare, is malfunctioning this morning, struggling to churn out its patches of fog. Cut to interior, exterior, Morticia and Gomez's bedroom same time. At the window, Gomez pokes his head out. In the background, Morticia brushes her hair with a silver filigree brush.
Granny, where's your fog?
From above, the fog machine hurtles downwards, missing decapitating Gomez by millimeters. It crashes below, smashing through the front porch roof. Cut to interior entrance hall later. Standing beside the front door is Lurch, the gigantic family butler, a reanimated, stitched-together behemoth. He holds 2 brown paper lunch bags in his enormous hands. The bag's contents wriggle, eager to escape.
Thank you, Lurch.
Pugsley takes his bag, opens it, and peers inside. Lurch growls. And Pugsley closes the door. Cut to exterior balcony outside Gomez and Morticia's bedroom, same time. Gomez is hitting golf balls, things serving as his tea while Morticia sips tea. One of the golf balls flies with incredible speed. Through the window of the Addams' only neighbor, this well-tended home sits on the hill overlooking the Addams mansion like some Republican sentinel. Cut to interior neighbor's home, same time. Judge Womack and the Addams' crusty patrician neighbor is having his breakfast when Gomez's golf ball lands in his cornflakes, shattering the bowl, covering him with milk. Judge Womack hurries to his broken window, shaking his fists.
Damn you, Addams!
Cut to exterior Gomez and Morticia's balcony same time. From their vantage point, it appears to Gomez and Morticia that Judge Womack is waving to them. Gomez waves back.
Sorry about the window, Judge. Keep the ball. I have a whole bucket full.
He holds up a bucket of golf balls. He tosses his golf club to Thing, who deposits it in the golf bag. Gomez joins Morticia watching the departing school bus.
The little ones off to school. Bless them.
They grow up so fast, don't they?
Too fast.
Their point of view, tires smoking, the school bus strains to chug down the road. Gleefully hanging from the rear bumper is Pugsley dragging his heels. Cut 2. Interior, the conservatory. Later that morning, Morticia, wearing gardening gloves, is snipping the blossoms of her roses. Gomez sits at a table playing chess with Thing.
It's a milestone, Tish. This very evening, our 25th seance. All those years gnawed by guilt, undone by woe, burning with uncertainty.
Oh, Gomez, don't torture yourself. That's my job.
Tish.
Imagine, darling, if Fester did come back, half alive, barely human, a rotting shell.
Don't tease.
Exterior just outside the Addams grounds, same time. Tully Alford, the family attorney, and his wife Margaret approach gate, a wrought iron monstrosity that opens of its own accord. Though Tully comes here often and Margaret has been here before, they never cease to be startled by gate. Tully has a puffy, once handsome face and an embittered gray aura that is the mark of a middle-aged misfit. High-strung and superficial, Margaret is more disappointed in Tully than he is in himself. Margaret passes through gate first. Then, as Tully passes through, Gate slams on him, clipping him and catching the end of his coat. Tully fights Gate for his coat.
Let me go.
Ignoring Tully, Margaret continues stiflingly up the walk.
Give me that. No, stop it. No, I'm warning you. No, it's not a good day.
Cut to interior conservatory, same time, Gomez moves the chess piece. Thing gestures out the window. Gomez and Morticia both look out. As they do, Thing moves 2 chess pieces, cheating.
Tully is here, darling.
Oh, that Tully.
Romping with Gate.
Check.
Thing moves another piece and gestures in triumph.
Checkmate.
Exterior Gate, same time.
Tully, can't you keep up?
I'm trying.
Tully rips his coat to get away from Gate.
These are your last paying clients. May I remind you?
Gives you pleasure.
Something has to. Like a decent coat, something dressy for evening. Ask for a loan. Beg.
No loans. I'm not a bum. Don't say it. I'll get the money. I've got a plan.
This is all so humiliating. Why did I marry you?
Because I said yes.
Margaret marches on toward the front door, skirting the fog machine as if it had every reason to be there. It hisses at Tully as he passes, splattering his trousers with fog. Cut to interior entry hall a little later. Tully hands his hat to Lurch and marches off toward Gomez's study. Finding herself alone with Lurch, Margaret is more nervous and intimidated than she would ever admit.
I'm here to see Miss Addams about the charity auction.
Lurch heads for the stairs, screwing up her courage. Margaret resolutely follows. Cut to interior Addams family portrait gallery a little later. Tully stalks glumly along the hall and past the family portraits, generations of Addams grotesques in elaborate gilt frames heading toward the imposing doors of Gomez's study. On the door lies a bear rug, eyes and mouth open. Tully, preoccupied, strides toward the rug. There's a sudden, ferocious growl as he steps on it. He kicks at the rug. It bites him, clamping its jaws onto his trouser cuff. He flails, dancing around, finally managing to shake it off. He finds himself face to face with one of the paintings, a portrait of the teenage Fester Addams, draped in black crepe and holding a lit candle, though how it is holding a lit candle is an utter mystery. At 15, Fester was utterly hairless with a dead white complexion and eyes rimmed in black like a raccoon's. The identifying plaque reads, Fester Addams, 1947, to question mark. Tully regards the portrait intently, almost as if he's having a premonition. The intricately carved doors to Gomez's study creak open, interrupting the reverie. Girding himself, Tully proceeds inside. Cut to interior Gomez's study, same time. A saber slices through the air, its blade glinting. Tully's hand grabs for the hilt of the sword. He misses. The blade embeds in the wall with a thunk. It shudders.
Ah, missed!
He leaps into frame, brandishing a saber. Tully backpedals, and as he pulls the sword from the wall, points to something behind Gomez.
What's that?
Gomez turns to see and Tully charges, wielding the sword as if he means to decapitate Gomez. But Gomez easily parries the blow.
Dirty pool, old man. I like it.
Gomez counters, driving Tully back. He shreds Tully's jacket.
Had enough?
Ha!
They continue to fence. Gomez flips Tully's briefcase open and a sheaf of legal-looking papers spills out.
Where's my pen? Never mind. I'll take yours.
His blade finds the pen in Tully's inside jacket pocket. He does handsprings back to his desk, landing gracefully in his chair.
First, the old business.
He swivels, warding off another blow, then cavalry continues to duel as he signs the legal documents scattered behind him. Before him. Cut 2, interior Addams' attic, same time. Morticia, Granny, and Margaret sort through Addams' possessions. In trunks, boxed, stacked, covered with shrouds, Morticia opens a gigantic, elaborately carved armoire.
Perhaps it's in here.
I don't think so.
In the front of the armoire thing is an overstuffed garment bag labeled Uncle Knickknack's winter clothes.
Uncle Knickknack's winter wardrobe.
She carefully passes the garment bag to Granny, who chucks it aside. The next garment bag is marked Uncle Knickknack's summer clothes.
Uncle Knickknack's summer wardrobe.
She passes this garment back to Granny, who chucks it aside also. Next in the armoire is a body bag.
Uncle Knickknack.
Morticia continues going through the thing. Cut 2, interior Gomez's study. Same time. Gomez and Tully are still dueling. Still signing. Gomez hasn't even broken a sweat.
I wish you dropped by more often.
Tully doggedly fights on. His jacket has suffered more shredding from Gomez's blade.
I'd like to, but,
But what, old sport?
you know,
You know what?
I'm a bleeder.
Gomez stops dead at a document. Deftly, he disarms Tully, sending his saber flying up and out of view.
What's this? A new proposal? The Fester Addams Offshore Retirement Fund? What would they do?
What wouldn't they do? It's a very worthy cause and a great addition to the other Fester Addams funds.
Fester. All tribute to thee. Some called him inhumanly evil.
No,
Only our parents. I called him brother.
and his memory must live on forever. Through money, we'll deposit the funds under my name for tax purposes.
Really? That's inspired.
He wouldn't have wanted it that way, beloved Fester.
The sword tumbles back into his hand. They resume dueling.
Indeed, for Fester.
Fester, a brother,
My brother.
one of a kind.
The doctors all said
Kind to animals, so good with children.
they never proved anything.
$1 million, the perfect amount.
It's brilliant.
Untraceable.
But Tully, it's not old business. It's going to have to wait. You know the rules better than that.
What? But this is different. It's my name. Make an exception.
Old business is old business and new business is new business. And this
Gomez holds up the proposal.
is new business. And we do not discuss new business again until,
With one finger, he rifles through a desk calendar, flipping endless pages. He lands on a distant date.
next quarter. Next quarter? Yeah.
Tully has gone white.
Next quarter?
Tully goes to attack like an enraged bull. Gomez does a kung fu backflip out of his chair, just missing being run through by Tully's saber. The saber skewers the overstuffed chair, and carried by the momentum of the charge, Tully somersaults over the desk, colliding with the chair, landing on the floor.
Fine lunge, but you're riposte. A tad rusty.
Gomez carelessly flings away his sword. Thing, perched on a decorative samurai helmet, plucks the sword from the air and resheaths it.
Make yourself comfortable, old man, while I get the money for the monthly expenses.
Tully lies ruined on the floor. Gomez grabs Tully's briefcase and makes a brisk exit, closing the office doors behind him. Tully crawls to the doors and slides them open a crack, intent on spying on Gomez. He peeks into interior den same time. At one of the floor-to-ceiling bookshelves, Gomez reaches for a book, pulling it part way from the shelf. We see the book's title, Greed. The entire shelf, a secret panel, revolves and deposits Gomez on the other side of the wall. Then it turns back to its original position. Tully gets to his feet, goes through the doors, and staggers for the bookcase. From behind the bookcase come the sounds of Gomez making his descent into the vault. Creaking, groaning, the sounds of chains and pulleys, vague animal howls, splashing water. Interior attic, same time. The armoire has been totally emptied. Morticia looks over the contents of a nearby shelf. Thing sits on the shelf, offering a bejeweled treasure.
There it is, just what we've been searching for. Thank you, Thing.
Morticia passes Margaret the jewel-encrusted cylinder of webbed gold dragon's heads with gaping jaws at either end. Margaret is at first afraid to touch it, but greed helps her get over it.
My God. What is it?
A family heirloom, a finger trap from the court of Emperor Wu.
It must be worth a fortune. Look at those emeralds. Oh, Morticia, this is too extravagant, even for the auction.
Let's keep it.
Hush, it's for charity. Widows and orphans, we need more of them. Margaret?
Enchanted by the object, Margaret isn't listening. She inserts her fingers, and they're instantly stuck.
The seance tonight. Won't you come? It's Gomez. I'm terribly worried. He won't eat. He can't sleep. He's been coughing up blood.
He coughs up blood?
Well, not like he used to.
Cut to interior den, same time. At the bookshelf, Tully reaches for a book, approximately in the same place where Gomez unlocked the secret panel. But Tully's book comes out of its place on the shelf and nothing happens. Fighting back his frustration, Tully reads the title, Gone with the Wind. He opens the cover. A hurricane blast of wind gusts from the open book, blowing Tully's hair straight up, rippling his facial muscles. He manages to close the book and, heart pounding, returns it to the shelf. He grins sheepishly at Lurch, who's been watching him from where he dusts in the hall, a feather duster in his gigantic hands. Cut to interior Gomez's study later. Close up, Tully's briefcase, now filled with greenish doubloons. Gomez, wearing a green accountant's eye shade, weighs a final handful of coins on an old-fashioned measuring scale, then tosses them into Tully's briefcase.
There. The monthly expenses.
Tully snaps the briefcase shut and hoists it from Gomez's desk, its dead weight in his hand. Another hateful ordeal.
I don't suppose you have any paper money in that vault? Gomez, it's time for the new fund, a checkbook.
Never. Banks, don't trust them. Strange people, Tully.
Really?
Well, not like you and me, or Fester. The seance, I need you there. For him.
Seance?
Tully lugs the briefcase towards the door.
8 o'clock. By the way.
Tully turns back. Gomez flips an extra doubloon across the room. It lands expertly in Tully's vest pocket.
I broke another of Judge Womack's windows this morning.
Tully resumes his put-upon march to the door. Cut to exterior Judge Womack's house a little later. Tully's on the front steps. Judge Womack won't let him inside, searching his pockets for the doubloon, helplessly enduring another of the judge's tongue lashing.
Still working for Addams. Mother warned you, Margaret. I can still hear her voice, clear as a bell. She'd always say, day in and day out, Mary Tully Alford, and you'll hear Satan laugh. Here's your doubloon.
I'm still stuck.
You lowlife. Are those emeralds?
Cut to interior Tully's law office later. Tully enters the secretary's alcove, still lugging his impossibly heavy briefcase. His offices were once quite elegant, but now the leather on the chairs is starting to crack, and a repainting is long overdue. Tully looks around for his secretary.
Miss Bradbury. Miss Bradbury!
She's at lunch, Mr. Alford.
Along! Tully steps into interior Tully's office, same time. Sitting in a chair in the client side of Tully's desk is Abigail Craven, an arrogant, aristocratic, seeming 60-ish doyenne. Her steely will and conniving manipulativeness are barely veiled by a thin layer of polish and good manners. Instantly obsequious. Tully sets his heavy briefcase on his desk and shakes her hand.
Mrs. Craven, I was just about to call you.
I'm certain you were. You haven't met my son, Gordon, have you, Mr. Alford?
Tully turns amiably, but his face falls at the sight of Gordon Craven, fleshly and round in his 40s. Impeccably, if eccentrically dressed, his dark hair plastered with pomade. With his barreled chest and his kamikaze demeanor, he is immediately threatening. Tully blanches.
Is this the one, Mother? The deadbeat you mentioned?
Before Tully can react, Gordon has him by the throat, hanging him upside down from the wall like an oil painting.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. You have to listen to me.
We do, Mr. Alford. And why?
Please, just hear me out.
Mother, your call.
Gordon and I have a very special relationship. I'm wild about him.
She's a pip.
Refreshing, no? Down, Gordon.
Mother.
Gordon.
Gordon!
Gordon lets go, dropping him on his head. Whimpering, Tully crawls towards his desk.
And how is your wife, Mr. Alford? I've heard so much about her. Still charming? Still spending?
I don't have the money to repay you. I've tried everything.
We've lent you a considerable sum, many thousands of dollars. Payment due.
Soon, I promise.
Oh, Gordon. I want to believe him.
So do I.
He's so terribly trusting.
She's a saint.
Silly boy. Make me proud.
Gordon grabs Tully and sweeps him onto his desk. Tully's briefcase pops open as it hits the floor. The Addams doubloons spill out. Abigail and Gordon light up at the sight of the gold. They share a malicious smile. Gordon leers down at the battered Tully.
He lied to us, Mother.
It's not about what you think. These are doubloons for the Addams account.
Addams?
There's more. There's a fortune, but no one can get to it. Don't you think I've tried?
Have you? Have you tried hard enough? Ask him, sweetheart.
Gordon descends on Tully menacingly.
No, sweetheart, don't ask.
Tully's cringing point of view. Gordon's face hovers inches from his own. The glare from the light bulb hanging overhead whites out Gordon's hair, making Gordon look as bald as a cue ball. It's like a sudden vision. The inspiration is obviously born of terror. Gordon is the spitting image of the long-lost Fester, as he would appear 25 years later. Tully, disbelieving, comes nose to nose with Gordon.
Fester?
Gordon makes a face at his mother. Exterior, the Addams mansion, silhouetted against the night sky. Rain, thunder, and lightning. Cut to interior Addams mansion 10, evening. Morticia stands at the open window. Gomez stands behind her, his arms around her waist.
Hailstones.
Lightning.
It's a miserable night.
I know, darling. Seance weather.
Morticia leans out the window.
Children, we're starting. Put down that antenna.
Another lightning flash. Cut to interior motel room. Same time. A typical rundown highway-style motel room with stained fiberglass curtains and a splotchy oil painting. Gordon is seated on the bed, facing a cracked mirror. Abigail stands behind him, consulting a picture of Fester that Tully has lent them.
It's uncanny, my little boy, and this hideous creature.
Mother?
Handsome creature. Think of it, my angel. No more grubby storefront scams. No more loan sharking to scum like Tully Alford. All that delicious money. I can feel it right in my fingertips.
So can I.
Just 1 weekend out. You locate the vault and then we're gone. Poof! Before they notice what's missing.
And Alford?
We need him. For now. And later, we'll be miles away and he'll take that rat.
You're so good.
Abigail holds up a shaving brush covered with foam.
Shave and haircut, mister.
2 bits.
Gordon moans orgasmically as Abigail begins to shave him. Cut to interior entryway a few minutes later. Lurch peels off Margaret's and Tully's wet overcoats. Margaret wears the same clothes she wore on her earlier visit. The finger trap has made it impossible for her to change.
What a miserable evening.
Don't add to it.
Wednesday has come to escort them. Tully tries to make conversation.
Big night for you guys. Oh, hey, small fry.
Tully reaches out to pat Wednesday's head. She moves away.
Hello, sweetheart. Could you?
Wednesday deftly releases the trap from Margaret's fingers. Margaret is amazed. She tries to straighten her disheveled clothes.
Thank you. Call me a cab, Tully.
Treat yourself.
Give me the car keys.
Get a rest.
Morticia appears.
Welcome, honored guests.
Lurch presents a tray of vile-looking canapes. Canapes. Morticia motions to the tray.
Entrails?
Lurch at his organ. He plays a crashing chord.
Let us gather in the house of yearning on this day of heartsick loss at this table of woe. Is everyone comfortable?
Interior den, same time, the family and Tully and Margaret sit at a round table, a crystal ball in the center. In the background, Lurch continues to play mute music on the organ. Morticia holds a tarnished gold candle holder in the shape of a raven. The candle is in its belly and the beams of light glow from its eyes.
Sing, O spirits, hearken, all souls. Every year on this date, we offer a clarion call to Fester Addams.
Stop it.
Pugsley.
Pugsley has a meat cleaver aimed at his sister. Reluctantly, he hands it to Gomez.
Kids.
From generation to generation, our beacon to the beyond, do you accept the glorious burden?
May it weigh me down through all my melancholy years.
And all close eyes and join hands.
They do. Granny takes a squeamish Margaret's hand.
Oh, what a grip!
Granny pulls away, leaving her hand behind, her sleeve apparently empty.
My hand! She got my hand!
Left holding thing, Margaret shrieks. Pugsley laughs appreciatively. Margaret tries to shake thing off, but he hangs on tightly. Granny cackles.
Excuse me.
Ashen, Margaret tries to escape. Tully pulls her back to her seat.
Now, Pumpkin, join the fun.
Mama, you should know better. Thing, you're a handful.
Thing lets go and runs off. Margaret sits stiff as a corpse. Still chuckling, Granny takes a hold of Margaret's now rigid hand with her own real hand. Margaret shudders. With a last look around the table to ensure that everyone has settled down, Morticia resumes the seance.
Wednesday?
Let us ransom you from the power of the grave. Tonight, O death, let us be your plague.
Mama?
I feel that he's near. Fester Addams, gather your strength and knock 3 times.
Cut 2. Exterior of the front door, same time, we see Gordon's hand on the door knocker. Just his hand. He pounds 3 times, the heavy, hollow sound reverberating. Cut 2. Interior den, same time, Granny's eyes pop open.
Did you hear that?
Ask again, Mama, quickly.
Lurch's organ music perfectly underscores and punctuates the scene.
By all means.
Tully smirks, barely able to continue his smug enthusiasm.
Ask.
Fester Addams, I demand that you knock again.
Cut 2, exterior of the front door, same time, waiting for someone to answer. Gordon's hand again knocks 3 times, this time even harder. Cut 2, interior den, same time. The knocking reverberates through the room. Jubilant, Gomez springs to his feet. Lurch hits a crescendo on the organ.
He's at the door!
He runs out and through the house to the interior-exterior entryway, front door stoop, same time, his family at his heels. Gomez eagerly pulls open the front door. There, on the front step, stands Gordon. Fester from beyond. Gordon's head is completely shaved, and his clothing and pallor are pure Fester. The exact resemblance is shocking. It seems a miracle. Gomez and Fester stare at each other. Fester's eyes have a hard, I dare you to question me look in them. Neither man says a word.
Could it be?
Is that him?
Possible?
Oh my God.
Morticia looks to Gomez for confirmation. Gomez and Fester continue their face-off. Gomez breaks the stalemate.
Fester.
Gomez?
Gomez throws open his arms. He smothers Fester in an embrace. Fester endures it. Abigail steps forward. She now wears a plain, dowdy suit, and her hair is in braided coils. She now speaks in a German-Austrian accent.
Good evening. I am Dr. Pinder Schloss.
Interior drawing room, a short while later. Fester stands by the tall, baronial fireplace, where an enormous fire burns. Steam rises off his wet greatcoat, enveloping him. He seems immobile. A pair of shining black ferret eyes calculate. Pugsley stands nearby beside Fester's steamer trunk, studying the exotic decals.
How did this happen? How did it come to be? The story. I'm not doing that. It is amazing and also beautiful. He's bound in Miami, tangled in the tuna net. It was Just last month, during the Hurricane Helga, the sky, it was black like pitch. The waves, they were Val of Doom. Can you imagine? Then they drag him from the ocean, from the very jaws of oblivion. I'm telling you, there are tests, so many tests, and a complete psychological profile. At long last, the Florida Department of Fish on the game, they say, le on. I sound French. I am so sorry. My oh my, go tell it on the mountaintop. He is your brother. Boom. They give him to the human services, and I am bring him after all the years, after who knows, heartache, after naked and dead, I bring him home to you. Oh,
That's preposterous.
Margaret.
Tully nudges her in the ribs to shut up.
Don't you think that's absurd?
Honey.
Isn't that the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard?
Awesome.
It certainly is.
Gomez slaps Fester companionably. Fester hates being touched.
And now you're back.
Back to share your joys, back to share your sorrows, back to share, well, hey, everything.
Well, I just don't know.
Tully hands Margaret the finger trap to distract her.
Darling, how does this work again?
An infant would understand.
Margaret, disgusted with Tully, demonstrates the finger trap. Her fingers are instantly stuck again.
Mr. Addams, home at long last.
Well, at least for a week.
A week?
Don't be ridiculous. You're home.
Sorry, I've got to get back. I've got a lot of things brewing in the Bermuda Triangle.
Oh, Gomez, the Bermuda Triangle.
Devil's Island.
The black hole of Calcutta.
Excuse us.
Second honeymoon.
At the steamer trunk, Pugsley is disintegrating the lock with a beaker full of acid and an eyedropper.
Dr. Pinder Schloss, will you be staying too?
No, I really must be going. But I will be back. You can bet. You to be checking in on Fester's adjustment.
The acid has eaten away the lock on Fester's trunk. Pugsley opens the trunk a crack. He fishes among the contents, his arm inside up to the shoulder. Something snaps. He grins, then pulls out his hand. His fingers are crushed in a rusty, ferocious-looking bear trap.
Cool.
Wednesday alone stands apart in her mournful fashion. She is instinctively suspicious of this new Fester.
Nobody gets out of the Bermuda Triangle, not even for a vacation. Everyone knows that.
Oh, my little one, there is so much you do not understand. The human spirit, it is a hard thing to kill.
Even with a chainsaw.
Abigail pinches Wednesday's cheek hard. Wednesday continues to stare at Fester. Cut to Fester's room later. Morticia has shown Fester to his room. As she speaks, the camera lingers on the following photographs atop the bureau. A picture of Fester and Gomez as young boys, each in a doggy-carrying cage, being held by their father. Father stands beside a crude wooden sign with Camp Custer branded into it. Gomez and Fester as boys, proudly sitting on the lap of a bound and gagged Santa Claus. Morticia begins to open Fester's trunk and go through it.
Unpacking. You must be exhausted. Let me.
No, that's all right. You don't have to.
Morticia begins removing Fester's burglary equipment from the trunk.
A crowbar, dynamite, cyanide, Fester. As if we'd run out. Good night.
She exits. Fester examines 2 photographs in a hand-tooled leather frame on the bureau. Imprinted below the face of the beautiful girl on the left is the name Flora. Below the beautiful girl on the right is Fauna. It is clear that they are identical twins. The clock in the hall strikes midnight. It's time to go to work. He opens the door to his room and peeks out. He sees Wednesday in her doorway across the hallway, staring back at him. He whips back into his room.
Nosy little brat.
Frustrated, he looks out again. Wednesday's door is shut. He looks both ways. Cut to interior attic a few minutes later. The trapdoor rises in the attic floor. Fester's head appears. Fester climbs into the attic. As he does, the camera pans around the room, taking in the piles of odd objects and memorabilia. Fester approaches a set of glass cases. Angle on the first case. The case contains a set of mounted butterflies pinned in place. Angle on the second, larger case. In this case, there are several stuffed vampire bats. Angle on the third, still larger case. This case is about 3 feet high and fairly wide. It is empty.
It's reserved.
The camera pulls back. Wednesday stands near the trap door, staring at Fester, who stands by the empty case. Fester is startled, but tries to act calm.
It's reserved for what?
For Skipper.
For Skipper? He's a dog.
No, Skipper isn't a dog. That would be cruel.
Of course not. I'm sorry.
He's a bully.
Fester stares at Wednesday. He backs away from her. Cut to interior Fester's room a few minutes later. Fester runs back into his room and shuts the door. Wednesday has obviously unnerved him. He sits on the edge of the bed. A cloud of dust billows around him. Yawning, he lies down, sinking into the mattress so deeply that he's almost buried alive. Getting comfortable, he burrows deeper. Close up Fester's eyes. He knows what terrors they've seen. Who knows what terrors they've seen? But now they lose their coldness, getting dreamy, and he hears the creak of his door opening.
Who's that?
He sees a shadow, thrown huge on the wall, a sinister hand with wriggling fingers. Fester goes for the knife he keeps in his boot, which is next to the bed on the floor. The door slams, veins in his forehead bulge. The window explodes open. The wet wind snuffs the candelabra light. There's only the sound of Fester's animal panting. Then lightning illuminates a hand gripping the bedspread. There's a vague flickering from one of the candles. Fester seizes it and nurses the flame, using it to relight the rest of the candles. As the room fills with candlelight, Fester sees Thing sitting on one of his legs. Fester jumps with fear, pushing against the backboard. He shakes his leg violently, throwing Thing off. He screams. Cut to interior Morticia and Gomez's bedroom, same time. Gomez and Morticia snuggle in bed in the afterglow of their celebration, her head resting dreamily on his shoulder. Gomez enjoying a post-coital cigar. Fester's scream is heard distinctly from down the hall.
My own dear brother, I've got goosebumps.
I know.
Screams in the night can only mean one thing.
They wait, listening. Fester screams again.
He's home.
They gaze together out into the torrential downpour as Fester continues to scream. They both smile. Cut to interior Fester's room, morning. Obviously moved, Gomez stands in Fester's room watching him sleep. Thing snoozes on Fester's chest like a kitty cat. Gomez gently lifts him and tucks him into the pocket of his smoking jacket. Instantly awake, certain that Gomez is about to attack him, Fester leaps from the bed, jumps Gomez, and pins him to the floor. Pulling the knife from his boot, he presses the blade against his throat.
Breakfast?
Gomez judo flips Fester off his chest, then springs to his feet.
Damn, it's good to have you back. Let's go.
He leads the way out. He pauses and turns.
2 out of 3?
Cut to interior the Addams kitchen later. The family eats breakfast in the subterranean kitchen. Only Pugsley is missing. Walls sweat and smoke crawls along the floor. Granny works at a stove that's a coal-burning monstrosity. Flames belch out of the oven. The top is gigantic grill where innards and various unidentifiable somethings sizzle. Throughout, Granny flips these offals onto family members' plates. Lurch assists her. Morticia has seated Fester between Gomez and herself. She's given him an elaborate pewter place, sitting with a dragon motif, obviously saved for honored guests.
May I have the salt?
What do we say?
Now.
Morticia smiles approvingly and passes Wednesday the salt.
What is this?
Mama's specialty de la maison.
Not with the eyes.
Sleep well.
Like the dead.
Really? Who knew the Bermuda Triangle could change a man so much? I used to toss and turn all night. We used to have to chain you to the bedposts.
It doesn't make sense.
Fester had no idea a simple exchange could be so fraught with pitfalls. He already feels cornered.
The Bermuda Triangle is a large and mysterious place. You'd be surprised at all the things you don't know.
She certainly would. Wednesday adores the Bermuda Triangle. She studies it. Death at sea, she's hooked.
Ask me anything.
Fester turns his back on Wednesday and addresses Gomez.
Being in my old room sure brings back memories. Remember Camp Custer?
For preteen offenders.
And I was thinking about Christmas.
Oh, waiting for Santa to come down the chimney.
Hanging our stockings.
Building a fire.
Gomez and Fester laugh mischievously.
Aren't memories precious? I'd like to spend today wandering through the house, remembering.
Oh, no. Sorry, old man. No wandering today. We're going straight for the vault.
Pugsley runs into the room, dragging a freshly stolen stop sign still on its pole. Gomez holds up a finger, shushing everyone. Just then, the outside of the shot, screeching sound of cars heading for a collision is heard. Finally, the cars collide. There is a satisfying crunch of metal. Everyone beams.
Who wants seconds?
Something in Granny's soup tureen yelps. Granny, keeping her eyes on Fester, jabs her ladle into the tureen.
Don't be shy.
Cut to interior den later. Gomez and Fester are in front of the bookcase. That's the entrance to the vault. Gomez reaches for a book. Fester is right there with him, his hand on Gomez's hand as he goes to pull out the old volume. Fester reads the title.
Greed.
They share a smile. The bookcase swings open. Fester eagerly follows Gomez inside. Cut to interior the secret chamber. Moments later, Gomez runs gleefully down a flight of steps.
I feel like we're children again.
Gomez reaches a small circular room. Gomez looks up. Over his head hang hundreds of rusty chains. Gomez grabs one of the chains. As he does so, he punches Fester on the shoulder.
Tag, you're it.
Gomez pulls the chain, and he and Fester drop out of view through a trapdoor. Interior beneath the secret chamber. Seconds later, Gomez and Fester are sliding down a twisting slide. Gomez is gleeful. Fester is petrified. Cut to interior underground river. The slide deposits Gomez and Fester on a dock leading to the underground river. Gomez is all high spirits while Fester is wobbly.
Smell that air, Fester.
Fester inhales dutifully. He gags.
Like a tomb.
Gomez strides to the end of the dock. Waiting there is a Venetian gondola. Run down by steel magnificent. Gomez does a running leap to board the gondola. He puts on a straw gondolier's hat and calls out to Fester.
Tutto a bordo, fratello mio. The sea. Your second home.
Fester boards the gondola gingerly, looking queasy.
Ships ahoy.
Gomez winds an old Victrola as he sorts through a pile of 78s. He puts the needle down on a record and begins to sing along in a bellowing basso profondo. He sets sail, pulling down the underground river. Cut to interior attic, same time. Wednesday and Pugsley are exploring the attic, investigating various items.
Do you think that's really Uncle Fester?
Father says so, but I think Mother isn't sure.
Wednesday stands in front of an electric car.
Pugsley, sit in the chair.
Why?
So we can play a game.
What game?
It's called Is There a God?
Cut to interior entrance to the vault, same time. Still singing, Gomez pulls towards a massive metal door, 6 feet across and 10 feet high, set right into the rock of the grotto. Gomez docks at the narrow ledge in front of the door. Gomez leaps onto the ledge and Fester follows. He's getting excited now, wondering what treasures exist behind this door.
The vault.
Gomez goes to work on the oversized combination lock.
2 to the right, 10 to the left, and then around to
5.
11. 2, 10, 11. Eyes, fingers, toes.
Fester licks his lips in anticipation.
So many years.
Long barren years.
Years that we wasted.
Years we'll bring back.
We entered together a triumphant return.
We enter as brothers. We enter
as one.
Gomez slowly opens the door, revealing interior vault, same time. Rather than a treasure trove, it looks like a decrepit 19th century men's club. Torn red leather chairs and settees, an assortment of torture devices and hunting trophies. an elaborate bar with a cracked mirror.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
Our secret place. Sanctus Sanctorum. Oh, if these walls could talk, old man.
What would they say?
You tell me.
You go first.
Senior partner.
Junior spaceman.
First, a brandy. Do the honors. I've got a real treat in store.
Where is it? Ridiculous imbecile.
There are a half dozen excellent brandies on the well-stocked shelf. Fester pockets a silver jigger, then chooses a bottle, and the bar spins around, with Fester revealing the interior treasure room, a stone cavern stacked high with Addams' treasure, gold, jewels, bizarre but priceless statuary from around the world. Fester gets one slack jaw glimpse, and the bar spins again, depositing him back in the outer room. Gomez has been too busy digging through the box to have noticed Fester's carousel ride. He turns, his arms overflowing with film cans.
Showtime!
And with shaking hands, Fester pours himself a stiff drink and replaces the bottle on the shelf. Cut to interior attic, same time. Wednesday is strapping Pugsley's arms and legs into the electric chair.
He's not Uncle Fester. Then who is he?
Somebody else.
Wednesday pushes a button and the lights on the chair go on. The entire mechanism hums and vibrates.
It has to warm up.
Why?
So it can kill you.
I need that.
Cut to interior outer treasure room, same time. Gomez is running home movies. He and Fester sit in side-by-side armchairs with the stuffing coming out. They smoke cigars and drink brandy from extra-large snifters. On the home movie screen, the young Gomez and Fester, shark fins strapped to their backs, sneak around a corner toward a swimming pool crowded with kids. The film then jump cuts to young Gomez has buried young Fester in the sand at the beach. Only Fester's head appears from beneath a mound. A few yards away, a single hand struggles out of the sand, clearly another person. The film jump cuts to a handheld 16mm camera weaves its way through a group of ballgoers, finally focusing on a head and shoulder shot of Gomez and Fester now in their teens. The Addams boys look both sinister and dashing in their tuxedos, and Gomez is already smoking his trademark cigar.
Here, the debutante ball. Remember that fateful night?
Of course. Your first cigar.
What? Come on, old man. I've smoked since I was 5. Mother insisted.
On the screen, the boys flank their dates, the twins from the pictures on Fester's bureau. Beautiful redheads with dementia in their eyes. Throughout the twins are seen only from the waist up.
Flora and fauna. Quite the pair, eh, Gomez?
Gomez sighs and becomes extremely dramatic.
Can you ever forgive me?
What?
I didn't love them, yet I wooed them both out of foolish pride. You were so dashing you could have any woman you wanted, dead or alive. I was jealous, insanely jealous, I admit that now. But I never meant to drive you off, not in the Bermuda Triangle.
Water under the bridge. Forgiven. Forgotten.
Gomez holds out his arms. Fester endures the hug. Gomez turns the hug into a painful headlock. Fester gasps for breath.
Say it! Say the password!
The password?
Come on, stop fooling, you remember!
Please, I'm joking, please.
Gomez, perplexed, releases Fester.
You forgot our secret password? The one we used 100 times a day, our special private name for each other?
That was a long time ago. We were children. You almost killed me, you demented freak.
Did you say demented freak?
Yes, you demented freak.
Fester has accidentally hit on the password. Gomez lights up. He flings open his arms.
Demented freak!
Cut to interior attic. Same time. The electric chair is really humming. Pugsley now has the chair's helmet on as well. Wednesday is about to throw the huge master switch.
Why would Dr. Pinder Schloss tell a lie?
Because she wants something. Do you have a last request?
Can I have ice cream?
No.
Then just do it.
As Wednesday is about to throw the switch, Morticia's head appears from the trapdoor.
Children, what are you doing?
Morticia climbs up into the attic.
I'm going to electrocute him.
But we're late for the charity auction.
Mother,
Morticia pretends to be stern.
I said no.
Please.
Oh, all right.
She smiles and flips the switch, angle on Wednesday's face as we hear the sound of high-voltage sizzling Pugsley. Wednesday is very solemn. Her usual impassive self, then a smile breaks through. Cut to interior Bayshore Women's Club later. Close up on the finger trap, jewels glittering. Then Margaret Alford, who blushes, standing on the auction block as if she were the item up for auction. She holds her hands aloft. Fingers still ensnared in the ancient finger trap. She wears the same disheveled dress, unable to disguise its sleeped-in look. On the stage beside her, Judge Womack acts as the event's auctioneer. He reads into the mic from the catalog.
Encrusted with rubies and 15 emerald chips, it was donated by Morticia and Gomez Addams.
Gomez and Morticia sit with their family. They look around modestly. Reaction shouts of various people in the crowd, staring at the Addams family in horror and disbelief.
Remember, the money we raise goes to help those less fortunate. This year, over half our proceeds will benefit the elderly and the mentally disabled.
All the Addamses look at Granny proudly. She beams.
I open the bidding at $5,000.
Bah, not enough.
Thrusts up his arm.
20,000.
For the elderly and the insane. They've earned it.
Judge Womack is surprised at the bid. Next to him, Margaret looks confused.
What are they doing? It's theirs.
Judge Womack gives her a look that says, shut up. Angle on Pugsley. He has a pea shooter in his mouth, aimed at Judge Womack. Wednesday glares at her brother and holds out her hand. He sheepishly passes her the pea shooter.
I have 20.
25. Cara mia.
Fester takes Morticia's opera glasses and peers appraisingly at the glittering finger trap. He smiles greedily.
25.
Morticia bashfully raises her hand.
30. Monsova.
Margaret pesters the Judge Womack.
What are they doing?
Judge Womack shushes her. Angle on Wednesday. She now has the pea shooter in her mouth, aimed at Judge Womack. Granny gives her a stern look. Wednesday sheepishly hands Granny the pea shooter. Gomez raises his hand.
35. Eres divina.
Margaret is increasingly agitated.
But I don't understand.
Morticia raises her hand.
50.
Morticia has raised her arm. She lowers it, but keeps it extended for Gomez to kiss. He does so passionately. The flabbergasted Judge Womack repeats breathlessly.
I have $50,000.
Your turn, my ecstasy.
It's yours, d'amore mio.
You spoil me, mon amour.
Gomez utters a little cry of wild passion. Judge Womack hammers his gavel as Margaret's jaw drops.
Sold to Morticia Addams for $50,000.
Judge Womack shakes his head in disgust. As he does so, a projectile hits his neck. He yelps and grabs his neck. Angle on Granny with the pea shooter in her mouth. She has clearly just scored the hit on Judge Womack. She and the children share a conspiratorial smile. Wow, this is good. Cut to interior Duesenberg dusk, close up on the finger trap, the jewels glinting in the passing lights. Fester has his fingers trapped in it. He stares at it, almost as if he were hypnotized. Morticia beside him admires it also.
Isn't it too enchanting?
Fester pulls his fingers, trying to free them.
How do you take them off?
Morticia releases it for him.
There's a trick to it, of course.
Gomez shares a look with Wednesday, then leans forward from his place on the other side of Morticia and eyebrows knitted frowns at Fester. Cut to an exterior Addams mansion night. Several windows are lit. Cut to interior Duesenberg dusk, close up on the finger trap, the jewels glinting in the passing lights. Fester has his fingers trapped in it. He stares at it almost as if hypnotized. Wait, we just did this.
Gomez, you shouldn't have. You bought the finger trap.
That's for charity, and it belongs to the family.
Fester pulls his fingers trying to free them.
How do you take it off?
Morticia releases it again.
There's a trick to it, of course.
Gomez shares a look with Wednesday, then leans forward from his place on the other side of Morticia and eyes proud. Yeah. Interior dining room. Later, Gomez's elaborate model train layout fills the room. The Lionel train races through the remains of a strip mine mountain terrace. Thing gallops into view around one of the mountains, then paces back and forth in front of Gomez's Transformers.
How do you take it off? That's absurd! That finger trap was a party favor at his 10th birthday!
Gomez demonically starts his second train, setting it on a sure collision course with the first. Cut to interior Fester's room, bedtime. Preparing to go to the vault, Fester, with cool professionalism, slips his safe-cracking tools into the bandoliers, strapped across his chest. He reaches into the drawer for the nitroglycerine, and comes up with the photo of the young Fester and Gomez being brought home from Camp Custer by the UPS man. He stares at the picture, then tosses it aside as if touching it burned him. He picks up the nitro and proceeds with his preparations. Cut to interior dining room, same time. Puffing black smoke, the model trains race toward one another, toward the inevitable. His emotions churning like the locomotive wheels. Gomez rants to Thing.
He wore that finger trap for 2 years. Mother had to teach him to read it with his feet, and the combination, and the password, and my cigar, and he slept so well.
Thing paces furiously. Cut to interior kitchen, same time. Granny sits at the kitchen table reading cookbooks. There's a stack of books on the table. 2 books are propped up. Granny reads from the first book. We see the title, The Joy of Cooking. She turns to the second book. We see the title, Gray's Anatomy. The sound of Gomez's trains has begun to resound throughout the house. As Granny reads, a train whistle pierces the night and the kitchen table shakes. Granny looks up from her reading. Cut to interior Pugsley's room, same time. Morticia is seated on the bed. She has a family photo album on her lap. Wednesday and Pugsley in pajamas sit beside her, looking at the album.
Did that father when he was little?
Yes, and that's Uncle Fester.
Where are they?
At a birthday party. See the fire trucks?
From Gomez's train room, we hear a voice howl. All aboard! Followed by another whistle blast.
Oh no.
Daughter's playing one of his trains.
He must be upset.
It's always a bad sign. Hobbies.
Cut to interior Addams' library, same time. Grimly determined, Fester removes the well-worn copy of Greed from the shelf and the secret panel opens. He's headed for the vault. Cut to interior dining room, same time. The model trains whistle at full blast, shrieking and warning as they round Dead Man's Curve, heading for each other. From inside one of the trains, a little passenger looks out. He passes Gomez, still raving, almost to the boiling point.
These thoughts. I'm in torment. What is truth? What is fiction?
Thing pounds the table in frustration. Cut to interior Lurch's bedroom, same time. Lurch is sitting up in his too small bed, wearing his nightshirt and cap. He is sewing a button on a shirt, a gentle giant. The chug of the trains now shakes the entire house. Lurch's needle slips from the noise and he pricks his finger. He sucks on his finger, looking troubled. Cut to interior the secret chamber, same time. Fester is at the interior wall. He pushes against it, seeing if that will make it turn. Then he remembers. He looks above, and there hang the countless chains, each with a rusted metal grip on the end. Which chain to pull? From far above in the house, Fester hears the distant train whistle. He randomly yanks one of the chains. The chain yanks back, pulling Fester straight upwards with a screech of pulleys and gears. The chain rockets him, hanging on for dear life, toward a narrow gap in what may or may not be a ceiling. Fester disappears into the gap. Cut to interior Pugsley's room, same time. Morticia and the children are listening to the sounds of the trains, now a chugging, whistling cacophony.
He's using a diesel.
A shrill blast is heard.
The covered bridge.
Another blast.
Dead Man's Curve.
I know what he's worried about.
So do I, darling. But let's get to bed. Now, have you brushed your teeth and washed behind your ears?
I did. I'm sorry.
Another blast.
Is that man really Uncle Fester?
Uncle Fester whooshes through the floor to ceiling piranha tank. Only Morticia sees this. Interior dining room, same time. The train crash is imminent.
Spirits above me, give me a sign. Shall I be joyous or shall I be damned?
The trains collide. Metal rends, smoke and flames. Interior yard, middle of the night. A coal chute set in the side of the house drops open, depositing the soaked, disoriented Fester at the feet of Morticia. Silhouetted by the full moon, she stands regally above him, waiting for him, her velvet cloak covering her night clothes.
Sleepless night? Walk with me, Fester.
Exterior back of the house, the cemetery, middle of the night. Morticia leads Fester into the chill of the cemetery. They follow a path that winds among the elaborate tombstones of the Addams dead. Gomez's golf balls are everywhere on the ground, in statuettes, upturned hands, and their open mouths. As they pass them, Morticia points out various monuments. The marble statues look so real they could be alive.
Aunt Laborgia, executed by a firing squad. Cousin Fledge, torn limb from limb by 4 wild horses. And darling Uncle Emar.
Uncle Emar is a hooded executioner with an upraised axe. There is an unearthly moan, something to come from the tomb. Seeming.
Buried alive. Psychopaths, fiends, mad dog killers. Roots Fester, pioneers. Lest we forget.
Among the statuary is a marble vulture, posed with the dignity of an eagle on a flagpole, but the flagpole is actually a replica of Fester's bald head.
Your beloved Muerto. After you left, he was simply a different vulture. He wouldn't circle. He wouldn't peck. That's how much you mean to this family.
They reach the mausoleum where Mother and Father Addams lie. It stands on a knoll, the highest point in the cemetery. Poison ivy covers the dilapidated Greco-Roman tomb. Mother and Father Addams have been depicted as a god and goddess, charioteers driving their steeds to the netherworld. Father Addams smokes the ubiquitous Addams cigar. Morticia gazes up at the likeness of Mother and Father Addams, but Fester averts his eyes. The faces seem to be staring directly at him.
Mother and Father Addams. Imagine what we owe them. Oh, Fester, how I wish the children could have known them better. But tell that to an angry mob.
She turns to trace the family crest carved into the mausoleum. The top of the crest is a vulture. The background is composed of 3 lions' heads. In one panel, a huntsman holds open the lion's head. In another panel, the lion has swallowed him up to his torso. In the last panel, the lion has swallowed the huntsman completely, but for one dangling foot. On a banner at the bottom is the family motto in Latin.
3 lions rampant, the vulture ascendant, and our credo, sic gorgimus alus subjectumus nunc. We gladly feast on those who would subdue us. Not just pretty words. As an Addams, you understand completely, don't you?
She stares levelly at him.
As an Addams, yes, I do.
Good night, Fester.
Good night.
She heads toward the house. She turns.
Rest in peace.
Interior hallway, early morning. Fester's on the phone, hunched over, his eyes darting to make sure no one overhears.
They're onto me, Mother. I'm almost sure. Of course. I've tried. I still can't find it. You gotta get over here.
Wednesday is bound and gagged on a chair in the background. Pugsley runs up to Fester with 2 bottles of poison. Fester, vaguely impatient, points to one. Pugsley nods and runs off.
Don't say that. You know that I do.
Cut to interior Addams' kitchen. A few minutes later, Granny and Lurch are doing the dishes. Granny rinses and Lurch dries. Lurch then hands each dish to Thing, who stacks them. Morticia sits at the kitchen table, sipping a cup of tea. Wednesday stands before Morticia, holding up a large, nasty-looking carving knife.
Is that for your brother?
Wednesday nods.
I don't think so.
Morticia hands Wednesday a much larger, even nastier-looking knife. Wednesday takes the knife and exits.
His trains are everywhere. The children are beside themselves. This can't go on. How can I help him? Tell me, Mama.
Well, let's look it up.
Granny wipes her hands and opens a large, ragged, leather-bound book. She starts thumbing through the pages.
Troubled husbands, adultery,
Oh, no.
financial, money troubles.
No.
Turned into a toad or a reptile.
Is there an index?
Here it is. Suspicion and anxiety in husbands.
What does it say?
Drain all his blood. Replace it with vinegar overnight. Leave a headless rooster beneath his pillow. Smear his forehead, palms, and feet with the tears of a stillborn monkey. Add milk.
I can't do that. It's barbaric. Really, Mama, I'm surprised at you. Milk.
Lurch growls in agreement. Cut to interior Uncle Fester's bedroom, same time. Fester is sitting on the bed, kneading his hands, very upset. Abigail is calmly inspecting the room, studying various objects with disdain.
Sorry, I lost my spot. Hold on. What page are we on?
71.
They know I'm a fraud. The whole bunch. It's not gonna work.
Who knows? Gomez? That overheated moron?
He's no moron. He's Fester's brother. They had some awful fight years ago. He's suspicious. They all are. I can tell.
Really? Well, thank God I came over. I can counsel the troubled family, ease their distress. It's my calling. Remember, Gordon?
What?
I'm a doctor.
Cut to interior Addams' drawing room a few minutes later. Gomez and Morticia sit with Abigail.
Dr. Pinder Schloss is here to help. Should Gomez speak with Fester? He's right outside the door.
I would speak with Fester.
Gomez gets up and stalks toward the door, talking louder and louder.
If that were Fester, but that's not. It's an imposter! An impostore!
Outside the door, Fester hears and storms off. Interior upstairs hallway, same time, Fester is marching toward his room when he hears.
Oh, villain, villain smiling, damned villain.
Who calls me a villain, breaks my Peter cross, plucks off my beard, and blows it on my face?
If I must strike you dead, I will.
Fester gets a genuine gleam in his eye.
Bloodshed!
He hurries back to the top of the staircase and looks down into the front hall, where swords drawn, dueling. Wednesday backs Pugsley in. Pugsley and Wednesday thrust and parry, hack and slice. Pugsley runs Wednesday through. She staggers, then falls dead.
No. Give me that sword.
Pugsley hands him the sword.
Haven't you ever slaughtered anyone?
He's only a child.
No excuse. Aim for the major artery, the jugular.
That's what I said.
Cut to interior drawing room. Same time. Gomez is still raving.
A faker! A phony! An utter fraud! A baseless, deceitful...
Mr. Addams, I believe I am understanding. I will help. Yes? The theory of displacement is familiar.
No. Dish?
Tisha shakes her head.
Ha! This is too exciting. I will explain.
Is it unpleasant?
Deeply.
Gomez sits beside Morticia. He takes her hand. They are both fascinated.
Your very own bruiser. You drive him away. Go. Off with you. But then you are filling the little black monster.
Pugsley?
Guilt. Yes. Your bruiser returns. You feel guilty, you displace.
I do?
Of course.
The fillings in the brain cells, the bubbles, and they collide. You suspect things. You love him, but you resent him. Love, hate, love. Like for Mama, no?
No, but I didn't hit my mother. It was an accident.
It's a very common psychosis. I'm seeing it every day.
Lucky doctor.
Displace? How bizarre.
Here I imagined Fester was the problem. He's stubborn,
He's furtive.
backstabbing.
He sulks.
I suspect him.
You're unbalanced.
I hate him.
But that's love.
My God, you're right. He is Fester.
Gomez is suddenly jubilant again.
Thank you, Dr. Pinder Schloss.
I could do what I can.
Cut 2. Interior Wednesday's room, same time. Fester is seated on a leather couch. Pugsley and Wednesday are snuggled up on either side. They're all looking at an enormous ancient book which Fester holds open in his lap. Cut close up on the book's cover. The title reads Wounds, Scars, and Gouges.
You see, children? There's a lot to learn. Gangrene.
Fester, how do you know so much?
I've been around. I pick things up.
In the Bermuda Triangle.
Look, children, a new chapter.
Oh boy! Scab.
Cut 2. An explosion fills the screen as dirt and debris go flying. As the smoke clears, angle on Fester, crouched over a detonator. He has clearly just caused the explosion. Wednesday and Pugsley stand or crouch beside him.
3 parts dynamite with nitroglycerin cap. It's perfect for small homes, carports, and tool sheds.
What about picnics?
Fester smiles approvingly. He reaches into a crate and holds up a hand grenade. The children's eyes sparkle, as if it were Christmas Day. Angle on the window of Fester's room. High above Fester and the children, Abigail stands at the window looking out. She is not pleased. Cut 2. Interior Fester's room a few minutes later.
Everyone will be at the children's play tonight, correct?
Oh yes, I've been working with them. It's going to be fun.
Fun? Fun? Is that why we're here for? Fun?
She slaps Fester. Then she immediately grabs him and hugs him.
Darling, I'm sorry. You see what they've driven me to? I've raised a hand to my child, my reason to live, and you can't go to the play.
But the kids.
The house will be deserted. The vault will be ours.
But...
Abigail hugs Fester's head to her bosom.
Can you hear it, my treasure? My heartbeat? It beats only for you. Listen closely. It says, Gordon, I love you. Gordon, the vault.
I do hear it.
Soon we'll have the money and we'll be far from here. Loving mother, grateful son. This is no time for theater. Understood.
Cut 2. Exterior roof evening. Fester stands alone on the roof, looking out over the cemetery, brooding.
There you are, at last.
Gomez joins Fester at the railing.
Oh, what a fool I was to doubt you. Dr. Pinder Schloss explained everything. What a lovely woman, so chilly. Displacement. It's a common psychosis, isn't that grand?
Is it?
Gomez slaps an arm around him.
Look at it, Fester.
Beaming, Gomez gazes down into the cemetery. It is morbid and magnificent in the moonlight. The swamp bubbles, patches of fog crawl, unidentified beasties gamble.
Primeval ooze, quicksand, fumes, toxic waste. It's all ours, Fester. You belong here, old man.
You don't know what you're asking. You have a beautiful wife, wonderful kids. A wasteland. I'm in the way.
In the way? A brother?
Gomez, take care. For you. Life is all fun and games. A dance in the graveyard, stench, decay. But things change.
Precisely, you're back. Those years apart, Fester, we can't do that again. You're home.
Gomez holds out his hand. Thing is there with a golf club. Gomez passes the club to Fester. Thing supplies Gomez with another club. The two men hit golf balls off the roof and over the cemetery into the darkness. In the distance, out of shot, we hear the sound of a window breaking.
Oh!
Cut to interior Fester's room later. Fester sits on the edge of his bed brooding. Wednesday and Pugsley appear in the doorway.
Come on, Uncle Fester. Come to the play.
I said I was busy.
But you said you'd help us with the Shakespeare and the pus.
I changed my mind.
Cut to exterior school night. The Duesenberg pulls up in front of the school building. Bystanders eye the strange and wondrous automobile. Lurch steps out of the car and opens the rear door with great ceremony. As the bystanders gape, the Addams family steps out of the car as if attending the Academy Awards. Cut to interior school auditorium lobby night. The lobby is crowded with the families of students. As the Addamses enter, a young woman, Susan Firkins, approaches Morticia. Susan is Wednesday's teacher. She's wholesome, frazzled, and a little too eager.
Mrs. Addams?
Yes.
Could I see you for a moment? I'm Susan Firkins, Wednesday's teacher.
Oh, of course. Mrs. Firkins. Wednesday's told us so much about you. Have you ever heard from your husband?
Cut to interior Fester's room, same time. At his desk now, Fester works with great concentrations. He appears to be building a bomb. He looks at the clock. He hurries. Cut to interior school auditorium lobby a minute later. Susan Firkins is showing Morticia a bulletin board hanging on one side of the lobby.
Wednesday is an excellent student, but frankly, I'm concerned. This is our class bulletin board. This month our theme is Our Heroes, people we love and admire. You see, Susan Ringo has chosen the president. Isn't that sweet? And Harmony Feld has picked Diane Sawyer.
Have you spoken to her parents?
But Wednesday brought in this picture, Calpurnia Addams.
Wednesday's great aunt Calpurnia. She was burned as a witch in 1706. They say she danced naked in the town square and enslaved a minister.
Really?
Oh, yes. But don't worry, we've told Wednesday. College first.
Angle on Susan with her mouth hanging open. Cut to interior school auditorium lobby night. Tully and Margaret are chatting with the Addamses. The Alford's son, Tully Jr., is wearing a felt elf costume.
Isn't he adorable? I made this myself.
It's charming. What is he? A lizard?
An elf. Oh, look at you. That's better. You are just so precious for words. I could just eat you alive.
No, Margaret. Too young.
So Gomez, where's Fester this evening?
Moody as usual. We're all out on a jaunt, but he's home alone in the big empty house.
What a shame.
Granny and Lurch appear, hawking another of Granny's delicacies.
Toad on a stick? Get your red hot toad on a stick. Can't enjoy the show without your toad on a stick.
Interior Fester's room, same time. At his desk now, Fester works with great concentration. He appears to be building a bomb. He looks at the clock. He hurries. Cut to interior school auditorium, same time. Gomez attempts to schmooze Judge Womack.
I was hoping you'd come over and play a round of golf, not to brag, but I have a beautiful little 9-hole pitch and putt set up in my cemetery.
Rather rotten hell.
Ah, a previous engagement.
He tucks one of his cigars in Judge Womack's breast pocket and heads off to join his family. Cut to interior variety show stage later. A half dozen adorable 7-year-olds are on stage singing We Are the World. They finish to the enthusiastic applause of the auditorium full of parents. Morticia and Gomez politely join in while Lurch fidgets and Granny slumps, bored in her chair.
Children are next.
Lurch stops fidgeting and Granny sits up straight. Cut to interior backstage, same time. Sitting at the makeup mirror, Wednesday and Pugsley are putting on their armor. Fester is suddenly behind them, reflected in the mirror.
I changed my mind.
He thrusts a package towards them. Cut to exterior Addams' house, same time. Abigail is hammering on the door with the knocker.
Gordon, it's Mother. Damn it, where are you? I should have never used him.
She clomps down the porch steps and heads around the side of the house, peering in windows. Cut to interior auditorium, same time. Pushing people aside, Fester forces his way to where his family is seated. They are happy to see him.
I know you couldn't stay away, old man.
Cut to exterior Addams mansion, same time. Standing on tiptoes, Virginia tries yet another window. At her ankles, vines snake out from a window well. They wrap firmly around her ankles. She gapes down at them. There's no one to hear her and no escape. The vines go taut, preparing to pull her under. Cut to interior variety show stage. A short while later, Pugsley and Wednesday in their elaborate costumes are drawing to the climax of their scene from Hamlet. As they duel, they act their little Addams' hearts out.
How all occasions do inform against me, and spur my dull revenge. Oh, from this time forth my thoughts be bloody, or be nothing worth. If I must strike you dead, I will.
Pugsley lands the first blow, slashing Wednesday's arm. Her sleeve rends, and blood spurts.
A hit. A very palpable hit.
They both press the attack, drawing blood. In a fatal blow, Pugsley slashes Wednesday's jugular. She makes horrible gurgling noises. Blood spurts and arterial squirts.
Oh, proud death, what feast is toward in thine eternal cell?
In a final vengeful moment, Wednesday hacks at Pugsley's left arm, cutting it off, sending a gusher of blood out of his stump. The arm drops to the stage and bounces off, landing in Judge Womack's lap. On stage, Wednesday clutches her bleeding throat.
Sweet Oblivion, open your arms.
Wednesday falls dead. The audience sits perfectly still, jaws agape, deep in shock, an oil painting. Then, the Addams family leaps as one to their feet, applauding wildly. The lights on stage come up, and Pugsley and Wednesday bow deeply, accepting their family's applause. Fester applauds louder than anyone. Cut to interior Wednesday's bedroom later that night. Fester is tucking Wednesday into bed. They are now devoted friends.
There were sailors and pirates and an airplane full of tourists from Miami Beach, all lost in the triangle.
Uncle Fester, someday will you take me there?
It's a promise. Good night, Wednesday. You are terrific.
He kisses her on the forehead. She holds out her headless doll. Fester kisses the doll's empty neck. Wednesday holds out the doll's severed head. Fester kisses it too. Cut to interior cemetery, same time. Morticia is standing in the moonlight. Gomez sits on a bench nearby.
What a sublime evening, a theatrical triumph.
Shakespearean delight. All hail.
It's like a dream. When we first met years ago, it was an evening much like this. Magic in the air. A boy.
A girl.
An open grave. It was my first funeral.
You were so beautiful. Pale and mysterious. No one even looked at the corpse.
Your cousin Balthazar, you were still a suspect. I couldn't stop staring all during the eulogy. Your eyes, your mustache, your laugh.
You bewitched me. I proposed that very night.
Just think, someday we'll be buried here, side by side, 6 feet under, in matching coffins, our lifeless bodies rotting together for all of eternity.
Cara mia.
Mon souvent.
They embrace in the moonlight. As they do, the camera pans above their heads. We see the headstone featuring Uncle Fester. Cut to interior conservatory morning. Lurch is sweeping up. Among the plants, he comes upon Abigail, tightly wrapped in a plant cocoon. Lurch growls. Cut to interior kitchen later. The cheerful Addams breakfast is underway. Fester is at the table with the family.
Did you like the blood?
Perfect. A full bucket. I was so proud.
Weren't we all? Wednesday, play with your food.
Wednesday has something moving in her cereal bowl. She teases it with her fork. Granny screams at the sideboard.
Mama?
Granny pulls a skeleton of a shin-in foot out of one of the serving dishes.
Who put this in here?
Pugsley and Fester exchange a conspiratorial glance and giggle.
That's for company.
Rascals.
Abigail enters, peeling off bits of the vines that had encased her.
Doctor, you were so right. What an evening.
Fester fit right in.
The displacement is over.
Well, isn't that nice?
Does he really have to go?
Yes, he does.
Well, if he insists upon leaving, we shall mark the occasion. Dish?
We've planned a farewell party.
We've invited the whole clan.
Amazed by the gesture, Fester looks over at Gomez and Morticia.
What a lovely gesture.
Bloodshed, anguish, breakfast. We're a family again, and we owe it all to you, Dr. Pinder Schloss.
Please, Greta.
Greta.
Vesta, vook me out.
Cut to exterior front walk a little later. Fester is escorting Abigail through the yard.
I'm fine, Mother. I'm in complete control.
They're not your family, Gordon. I am. They don't love you. I do. They're evil and corrupt and degraded. I can give you that.
I'm fine, really.
We'll see.
They reach gate.
Open up.
Even gate is intimidated and swings open. Cut to interior Morticia's conservatory evening. Fester is cutting the blooms off Morticia's roses.
We're opening the ballroom now.
Fester hesitates, then follows Morticia. Cut to interior hallway outside ballroom a short time later. Each carrying a lighted candelabra, Morticia, Gomez, Fester, Granny, Lurch, Pugsley, and Wednesday stand in front of the tall, elaborately carved oaken double doors. Gomez unlatches them. Together they push them open and step into the ballroom. Moonlight streams in through the floor-to-ceiling windows, revealing the true enormity of the ballroom. It's straight out of a Rococo palace. A loftily unsupported dome ceiling is decorated with figures worthy of Dante. The black marble floor glistens. The furniture and banquet tables are funerally shrouded, like some primeval. See! The shrouds undulate in the breeze admitted through the open doors. Gomez steps up to Morticia and embraces her. They begin to dance. Fester remains frozen in the center of the ballroom, overwhelmed by the grandeur.
A party? For me? Here?
As Gomez and Morticia waltz past.
All for you.
Tish, how long has it been since we've waltzed?
Oh, Gomez. Hours.
He dips Morticia. As she bends back, she reaches for one of the shrouds and whips it off. It fills the screen, black. Cut to interior of the ballroom. When the shroud comes down, the party's in full swing. Gomez and Morticia, resplendent now in their party clothes, Morticia in a formal version of her black sheath, and Gomez in black velvet lounging pajamas, smoking jacket, and fez. A small orchestra plays a fractured waltz. Thing is a third hand on the bass. Gomez and Morticia dance among the Addams family relatives. That portrait gallery of grotesques come to life. Among them are Dexter and Donald Addams, the two-headed cousin in matching turtlenecks. Cousin Ophelia Addams, who looks like a Tennessee Williams heroine who's just been fished out of the Mississippi. Slosh Addams, if a man can look like a toad and still be a man, this is he. He's made many a killing on Wall Street. With him is his child-sized wife, Lois. Digit Addams, all four arms embrace his date, an overage Heidi with thick blonde braids. Cousin Lumpy Addams, a teenage hunchback in a loud blazer. Dexter and Donald dance Ophelia over to Gomez and Morticia.
I wonder
what happened.
what happened to Fester.
Still pimping, I suppose.
Her mind waterlogged and bleary, Ophelia addresses Morticia with a spacey Thorazine smile.
Where is Fester?
Soon, Ophelia, soon.
Where am I?
To interior Fester's bedroom. Fester is in his robe, or his underwear. He is considering various pieces of clothing on hangers or placed on the bed. Abigail stands nearby, her arms folded.
Oh, look, Bess. A tuxedo?
A nice dark suit is perfectly acceptable.
But the whole family's coming. I want to look terrific.
Gordon, may I remind you, you're not really an Addams.
I know. But the party's for me. I love this.
Cut to exterior Addams mansion. The front door opens and Lurch appears. He has obviously been summoned. He looks out, his face lights up as he sees a new arrival. Angle on, Cousin It, driving up in his bubble-topped It-mobile. He parks the car and flips open the top. Cousin It is a hairball in a Humberg. He bleeps and squeaks in a language the Addams have no trouble understanding. He pauses for a moment to survey the house. Cut to interior ballroom. A little later, Lurch escorts Cousin It into the ballroom. Gomez and Morticia come over to greet him.
It, old man!
You're right. Far too long.
Cousin It looks around, obviously checking out the women. He sees Margaret on the dance floor with Tully. It runs a hand through his hair, slicking it back, then excuses himself. Margaret clings stiffly to Tully in the midst of all the Addams' weirdness.
First time you've been dancing in ages, you take me here.
Formal occasion.
Don't let me out of your sight.
Don't threaten me.
There's a tap on Margaret's shoulder. She turns. Before her is Cousin It, hand in hand, eager to cut in. Takes her in his arms and spins away with her. Cut to interior Fester's bathroom, same time. The pipes groan loudly as scalding water floods the sink. Abigail shaves the back of Fester's head with a straight razor. The room is filled with steam.
You'll make your appearance, then slip away from the party. Festa, does that sound okay?
How? I'm the guest of honor.
Cut to interior ballroom, same time. Wednesday is dancing with Lumpy Addams, the teenage hunchback. Morticia approaches them.
Wednesday,
Yes, Mother.
could you run upstairs and check on your uncle? Thank you, dear. Why, Lumpy Addams, look at you, all grown up.
Cut to in Fester's room a minute later. The door opens and Wednesday peeks inside.
Uncle Fester.
She hears the water running in Fester's bathroom, the sound of voices beneath it. Inside the bathroom, Fester turns off the water. The pipes make a final clang, then there's silence.
Yes, Mother, I understand. I hear you.
I hope so, Gordon. I'm counting on you. Don't buckle.
It's not going to be easy. There are people everywhere.
You can do it if you just stop whining. No one likes that. It's unattractive.
All right, fine. I will try and reach the vault tonight. But if I can't, well, then that's it. Okay, Mother?
Wednesday stands frozen in the doorway.
You are a fake. I knew it.
Abigail and Fester wheel around her. The straight razor catches the light and glints menacingly.
Come here, little one. We won't hurt you.
Wednesday!
Fester can't believe this is happening. He's genuinely torn and it shows. Abigail's facade disintegrates and she bellows.
Get her.
Abigail pushes him toward Wednesday, who's suddenly scared, takes off running. She runs through Fester's room and across into hall, same time. Interior hall, same time. Into her own room. She slams her bedroom door behind her. Galvanized into action by the hold his mother still has on him, Fester kicks the door open just in time to see interior Wednesday's room, same time. Wednesday throws open a trapdoor on the floor and disappears down it, pulling the door closed behind her. Fester tries to find it, but the door is seamless. He pounds the floor in frustration. Cut to exterior house, same time. Next to the coal chute where Abigail is grabbed by the vines are two smaller chutes, one marked Pugsley and one marked Wednesday. Wednesday slides out of her chute. She takes off toward the cemetery. Exterior graveyard night. Wednesday runs through the graveyard and into the darkness of the night. Interior ballroom, same time. Lurch escorts Flora and Fauna Amor, the twins from the home movies, into the ballroom. He takes their wraps, revealing that they are in fact a pair of Siamese twins. 25 years later, they still look quite beautiful and quite mad.
Flora and Fauna more.
Gomez approaches, shielding his eyes.
I cannot see. I am blinded by beauty.
Gomez Addams.
You terrible flirt.
Always was.
At least with me.
Copycat.
Tag along.
Morticia appears.
Why, Gomez, the Amor twins. I've heard so much about you.
Morticia, I hate you.
You nabbed him, this darling man.
He was mine.
He was mine.
Flora, Fauna, how can I compete? You're twice the woman I am.
Gomez grabs Tully, who's striding by in search of Margaret.
Tully, the Amor twins. They're waiting for Fester. Amuse them.
Hello, Tully.
I saw him first.
Ignore her.
He's nothing.
Bon chance.
Girls now have their forearms all over Tully, leading him onto the dance floor.
God.
Cut to interior Fester's bedroom, same time. Abigail's in the room alone. At that moment, Fester comes climbing back through the open window.
I couldn't find her anywhere. Let's just leave. Out the back.
Pull yourself together. She'll turn up, the little cockroach. Now get to the party or they'll suspect something. I'll be down soon. Ja.
Cut to interior kitchen, same time. Morticia watches as Granny garnishes a roast pig set on silver tray. It is beautifully glazed, deliciously plump, and has an apple in its mouth.
Mama, you've outdone yourself.
Granny turns the roast pig slightly to arrange the garnish and reveals its second head. This one too has an apple in its mouth.
Hey, it's a party.
Satisfied, she covers it with the lid. Lurch then lifts the tray onto a serving cart and rolls the cart out. Cut to interior ballroom, same time. Flora and Fauna now on the dance floor with Tully, chatter giddily as he tries to maneuver them through a box step.
You can't imagine how surprised we were when Gomez called and told us Fester was back.
Especially considering.
Fauna,
Especially considering what?
it makes no difference now. It's obvious that Fester and Gomez are devoted.
Why wouldn't they be devoted?
Well, now that Fester's back, he's the king of the castle again, isn't he?
Fester's the older brother, so he gets it all. The house, the money, you name it.
I'd like to.
Gomez be damned.
Fester's still single, isn't he?
Are you, Mr. Alford?
My Fauna?
I'm Fauna.
I'm Flora.
I'm flattered. Excuse me, ladies.
Tully winks at Flora and blows a kiss to Fauna. They giggle madly. Tully hurries off, grinning like the cat who swallowed the canary. Cut to interior ballroom, same time. Morticia and Fester have appeared at the door to the ballroom.
Everyone, your attention, please.
The music stops and the guests fall silent.
When he was lost, our family grieved, and now it became them, and how it became them. Now he is found, and our celebration begins. Our treasured guest of honor, Fester Addams.
She takes him by the hand as if to lead him toward the assembled guests, but instead abruptly spins him by the arm, sending him whirling like a top into the center of the dance floor, where he suddenly stops, nose to nose with Gomez. Gomez has changed clothes. He's dressed now like a Hollywood Cossack. He carries 5 gleaming scimitars. Morticia, Granny, and all the Addams women rap out a stirring martial beat on tambourines.
The Mamushka!
Gomez begins to circle around Fester. The other family members from a ring circling counterclockwise to Gomez. Gomez then throws the scimitars straight up, high into the air, and begins juggling them. Baffled, Fester stands in the center, the eye of this dizzying hurricane.
Taught to us by our Cossack cousins, the mamushka has been an Addams family tradition since God knows when.
Gomez hurls the scimitars to Fester. They begin juggling them back and forth, much to Fester's shock and surprise.
We danced the mamushka while Nero fiddled. We danced the mamushka at Waterloo. We danced the mamushka for Jack the Ripper. And now, Fester Addams, this mamushka is for you.
The juggling continues. The moves get more and more intricate. It's an elaborate, carefully choreographed routine. Fester, petrified, manages to somehow bungle his way through. They launch into a tongue-twisting patter song. Fester stumbles his way through. During an instrumental passage of the song, Gomez admires his brother.
After all this time, Fester hasn't forgotten a step, hasn't forgotten a word.
Fester
Not a
stops
step.
dead.
Not a step, not a word.
Fester has missed a beat and looks up to see all 5 scimitars. Dropping fast, coming straight at him. Panicking, he catches 1, 2, 3, 4, with 2 in each hand. His hands are full. What's he going to do with the 5th scimitar? He opens his mouth to scream. It drops straight in. He swallows it to the hilt. The Addams mob cheers lustily and launches into the finale of the song. Amazed, Fester drops the scimitars he holds and pulls the one from his mouth.
How'd I do? How'd I do that?
Gomez slaps him on the back. Fester burps. The Addams cheer again. They close in on Fester. Cut to interior. A remote corner of the ballroom. Same time. Cousin It and Margaret are waltzing in and out of the way nook. They are somewhat involved.
We've been married for almost 20 years. Sometimes it seems like more. Of course, people grow, people change.
Cut to interior front hall a little later. Tully is heading for the front door in his coat. Abigail stops him.
Where are you going? There's trouble.
Not to worry, plan B.
But that hideous little girl.
I'm in charge. 10 minutes. I'll be back.
Tully slips out the door. Abigail turns frustrated, throwing up her hands. Upstairs on the dance floor, a reprise of the Mamushka has begun. In the rear of the hall, Cousin It passes across, leading a trembling Margaret. Cut to exterior Judge Womack's home a short while later. Judge Womack is on the front porch with Tully. He's apoplectic. The ruckus sounds the Mamushka reverberate from the Addams mansion.
What the hell's going on over there? How would you like to get rid of the Addamses for good? I'm serious. What can I do for you?
Cut to exterior Addams family, 2:00 a.m. Gomez and Morticia stand on the front steps waving goodbye to their departing guests. Cousin It leans out the window of his limousine, sharing a romantic last moment with Margaret.
You're a marvelous dancer. It's been such fun.
Oh, don't give up.
I can't. We mustn't. Call me.
The limo drives off as Margaret waves a fond farewell. The limo passes. Morticia appears. She puts her arm around Margaret as It drives off.
Oh, Margaret, he's very special, isn't he?
He's perfect.
He's it.
Flora and Fauna giving goodbye kisses to Fester, covering him with lipstick. They hang on him with all four arms. He is enjoying himself.
You'll come see me before you leave, won't you, Fester?
I'll call once I'm alone.
An ambulance pulls up. White-jacketed attendants step out with a straitjacket built for two.
There's your ride. Goodbye, girls.
Cut to interior upstairs hallway a bit later. Fester skips down the hall, still practicing bits of the Mamushka. The Amor twins' kisses still fresh on his cheeks. He opens the door and strides into interior Fester's room. Same time, Fester dances into the room. He grabs Abigail and starts dancing with her, swinging her around and singing bits of the Patter song.
Gordon?
Fester keeps singing and dancing.
Gordon, stop it this instant.
Fester lets her go.
Gordon, is that lipstick all over your face?
From the twins. The beauteous Amor twins.
The twins. Gordon, I don't understand this. Let me get this clear. Have you been having a good time?
Yes, I have. It was marvelous. I sang up a storm and I danced until I dropped. Oh, the Mushka.
He begins to dance again. Abigail, breathing fire, sits on the bed, turning away from him.
Mother?
Mother? Mother? Who is that? I don't think I recall.
Mother?
I'm perfectly fine. I'm dandy. Don't concern yourself with me, Gordon. Please, return to your deprived orgy. Sometimes I think you're not even my son.
Don't say that.
I'm just your mother. You owe me your entire existence on this planet. Please, Gordon, by all means, go, sing, dance, date.
Mother, I'm so terribly sorry. It was just the party. It's over. It means nothing. Those Siamese twins, that hunchback, Cousin It, they're nothing. They're not you.
Say it, Gordon. Make me believe it.
I love you, and I want money.
We've got to find Tully.
Cut to interior ballroom, same time. Morticia's looking for her children. She discovers Pugsley asleep, curled up on the silver platter where the two-headed pig lay. She finds this enchanting. Gomez enters. Morticia shushes him. She points to the platter.
Look, our little boy.
Talk it out.
So sweet. He looks just like a little entree.
Pugsley wakes up. He looks around.
Where's the party?
It's over, darling. Have you seen your sister?
Not since before the Mamushka.
Gomez?
Don't fret. We'll find her.
Cut to exterior Addams' yard later. Gomez rallies the family for the search. Morticia wears a black cloak. Granny has grabbed her divining rod. Lurch distributes torches, then stands aside, awaiting instructions. Pugsley helps Gomez unroll an ancient map over the area.
I'd fan out. Pugsley, head for the dung heap. Mama and Morticia, the shallow graves. I'll take the abyss. And Lurch, check the bottomless pit.
Her favorite.
Fester,
Up here!
They look up at Fester looking down at them from Wednesday's window.
Fester, you take the ravine and the unmarked abandoned well.
Someone should stay behind in case she comes back.
Good man, good thinking.
Then who'll take the swamp?
Thing tugs at the cuff of Gomez's pants. Gomez nods.
That's the spirit thing. Lend a hand. Let's go.
They all sweep off with Gomez in the lead. Interior Wednesday's room a short while later. Fester's still at the window. Abigail joins him. Their point of view. Spread far and wide over the grounds, the various members of the family search for Wednesday. Tiny lights aloft, calling.
Where the hell is Tully?
They head out. Cut to interior den a little later. Fester and Virginia find Tully sitting in an armchair, basking in the rays of sunshine that beam from a copy of The Sun Also Rises. Tully smiles at them.
What are you doing?
Relaxing. Taking a little sun.
Have you gone mad?
Au contraire.
Tully closes the book and smugly unfurls a legal document. Cut to exterior swamp, middle of the night. Thing hops lily pads, stopping occasionally to quest the air for his mistress. Cut to exterior primeval forest, adjacent to cemetery, middle of the night. Torch aloft. Pugsley searches through the primeval forest. Cut to exterior neighborhood, middle of the night. Lurch picks up a car, looking for Wednesday. Cut to exterior underground grotto, middle of the night. Morticia and Granny stand in the middle of the dripping dankness. Stalagmites, stalactites. Granny's torch casts scary shadows on the cave walls.
Wednesday! Wednesday!
Oh, Mama, I was sure we'd find her here.
Cut to exterior cemetery dock. Gomez reaches a stately mausoleum at the far end of the cemetery. Two proud marble vultures guard the entryway. Gomez lowers the uplifted claw of one of the vultures, and the stone doors slide open. He steps into interior mausoleum same time. Inside it is a catacomb filled with the bleached bones of the Addams dead. Gomez's torch casts shadows, one of which belongs to Wednesday, curled asleep on a stone sarcophagus. Relieved to find her, Gomez approaches quietly. He doesn't want to wake her up. He lifts her tenderly in her arms. In his arms. Cut to exterior gate, darkness before dawn. Gate can't open. He rattles miserably on his hinges. Locked tight with heavy chains and yellow police tape. Large, no trespassing, court order, Addams family keep out signs are posted on gate's rusty bars. Pull back to reveal the family appalled at the sight of gate. Lurch carries the sleeping Wednesday and Pugsley.
What's all this?
Tully hurries down the walkway, waving his legal document.
It's a restraining order, Gomez.
A restraining order?
It requires you to keep a distance of 1,000 yards from this house. You've got about 999 yards to go. Catch my drift?
I am restrained from my own house?
Not your house, mustache. Not anymore. It belongs to the eldest living descendant, the older of the brothers, Fester Addams.
But this is lunacy.
Fester adores Gomez.
He's afraid of him. Seeing the twins brought it all back. Your bitter rivals, Gomez. Always were, always will be.
That's not so. Those girls meant nothing. He knows that. I demand to see Fester.
Sorry, no can do. He's very hurt. It's not a good time. Leave it alone. Or better yet, just leave.
Wednesday comes forward, rubbing the sleep from her eyes.
But he isn't even Uncle Fester.
Gomez and Morticia turn to look at her.
Do not fear. Justice shall prevail. The courts will decide. They say a man who represents himself has a fool for a client. Well, with God as my witness, I am that fool.
Interior courtroom day. Close-up gavel hammers on the judge's bench. Pull back to reveal Judge Womack is the presiding judge. He hammers the bench again, then reads his decision.
Given applicable standards of proof, the attempts to impugn this man's character or question this identity have been woefully inadequate. It is with no small amount of personal satisfaction that I declare Fester Addams legal executor of the Addams estate and rightful owner of all properties and possessions contained herein. Gomez Addams, I believe this is yours.
Cut to exterior Addams Mansion day. The family members troop to the car with their few possessions. Gomez already sits in the passenger seat of the Duesenberg, his coat draped over his shoulders as if he were an invalid, his head thrown back. Morticia carries out Cleo, her carnivorous plant. Granny carries her favorite cauldron, Wednesday one of her Mary Antoinette dolls, Pugsley his chemistry set. Lurch uproots his favorite tree and joins the procession. Thing follows dragging a toy wagon packed with his rings, his glove. Cut to exterior Addams' overgrown driveway later. The Duesenberg eases out of the driveway and onto the street, weighed down by Lurch's tree sticking out of the trunk. Fester, standing at a second-story window, watches the car drive off. Cut to exterior Wampum Court later. A 2-story neon arrow points the way to this bungalow court. Bright and awful ersatz western. Log cabins of simulated wood surrounded the teepee-shaped office. The Addams Duesenberg is parked in front of the furthest cabin. The asphalt has been ripped up in big chunks, and Lurch's tree is parked next to the Addams' new home. Cut to interior bungalow, same time. Close-up dressing table mirror. Morticia leans into frame with an ice pick and a hammer. She deftly makes a large spidery crack in the round mirror. Sighing deeply, she stands back to admire her handiwork. Granny joins her.
I like it.
Her mother pats her consolingly.
Just as long as we're together. N'est pas, mon cher?
As she turns to Gomez, we see the interior of the bungalow, all ersatz cowboy and Indian mixed with chrome-plated plastic and orange shag carpet. Gomez sits slumped in a chair made from wagon wheel and naga hide. It's as if all of his insane, vibrant energy has been leached from him. He's a broken man. He looks back at her as if he's never heard French.
Huh?
Wednesday tends to him. She and her mother exchange a worried look. Pugsley comes from the bathroom, nibbling a wrapped bar of motel soap.
This place isn't so bad. You can even put candy in the bathroom.
That's soap, dear.
Oh.
He takes another greedy bite. Wednesday pats her father's arm.
Father?
Mm-hmm. What?
Oh no, do you want a cigar, Father?
They're very bad for you.
Father?
Wednesday exchanges a panic-stricken look with Morticia. The family moves closer to Gomez.
Maybe I'll just have one of these.
He takes a bar of soap from Pugsley. Gomez unwraps it and morosely eats. Cut to interior Addams Mansion, midway to the vault. Close up on 3 hands as they reach up to pull 3 of the countless chains. Cut to exterior Addams yard, midnight. The coal chute on the side of the house. Doors open, dumping out Fester, Abigail, and Tully. All of them wet and bedraggled and gasping for air.
You're doing this on purpose.
They all struggle to their feet and march grimly back toward the door. Cut to interior Wampum Court bungalow, morning. Gomez is stretched out on the naked box springs of his bed, the mattress pushed aside. A damp cloth covers his eyes. Thing massages his aching head. A bowl of motel soaps is beside him. In contrast, Morticia squarely faces the crisis. She addresses the family from the head of the breakfast table. The want ads. The want ads open on the table before her.
We are Addamses, and we will not submit. Who recalls the fable of the tortoise and the hare? The swift yet lazy little cottontail and his slow but determined companion. What does that story teach us as Addamses?
Kill the hare, skin it, boil it.
Put the tortoise on the highway.
During rush hour.
Yes, we will survive. Poison us, strangle us, break our bones, and we will come back for more. And why?
Because we like it.
Because we're Addamses.
Gomez tries to ruse her.
We're Addamses.
He burps. Soap bubbles floating from his mouth. Cut to exterior sidewalk in front of the Wampum Court day. Wednesday and Pugsley have set up a lemonade stand, their contribution to the Addams' financial well-being. An array of poisons are lined up on their rickety table. They've slashed their prices to a nickel per cup. The pitcher on the table before them steams. Cars speed by. Carrying a sample vacuum cleaner in a bucket, Lurch comes out of the motel courtyard. Pugsley offers him a cup of punch.
There, Lurch. On the house.
Lurch downs it in a gulp and heads off. Feeling the effects of the lemonade, Lurch burps. A tongue of flame shoots from his mouth and incinerates a wooden Indian advertising the wampum court. Cut to Interior Employment Agency. Morticia is being interviewed by a personnel officer, a relentlessly perky gal with a clipboard.
We have so many homemakers re-entering the workforce. Your domestic skills can be very valuable. College?
Private tutors.
Major?
Spells and hexes.
Liberal arts. Have you been a volunteer PTA service organizations?
Well, one day each week I visit death row at our local prison with my children.
With your children?
Autographs.
Well, what about your husband? Is he currently employed?
He's going through a bad patch at the moment, but it's not his fault.
Of course not. What is he? A loafer? A hopeless layabout? A shiftless dreamer?
Not anymore.
The personnel officer shoots Morticia a doubtful glance and begins rifling through her card file. Cut to interior Addams' living room day. Abigail and Fester are seated at opposite ends of the couch. Fester stares off into space. Abigail is going through a stack of colorful travel brochures.
The Mediterranean, the Riviera. Once we find the money, we'll go everywhere. We'll try again right after lunch. Gordon, where should we go first?
I don't know.
Acapulco, Cancun. Arriba, arriba.
You choose.
Exterior Wampum Court later that day, Wednesday and Pugsley are at their lemonade stand. They are negotiating with a prissy little girl in a Girl Scout uniform. The Girl Scout carries several boxes of Girl Scout cookies.
Is this made from real lemons?
Yes.
I only like all natural foods and beverages, organically grown with no preservatives. Are you sure they're real lemons?
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, I'll buy a cup if you buy a box of my delicious Girl Scout cookies. Do we have a deal?
Are they made from real Girl Scouts?
Cut to exterior suburban house day. White clapboard. Geraniums in the flower boxes, surrounded by a white picket fence. Carrying his sample vacuum cleaner and bucket, the tools of his new trade, Lurch carefully opens the little white gate. At the door, he rings the doorbell, afraid he might break something. A blonde housewife in tennis whites, obviously in a hurry, opens the door, only to be greeted by a bucket full of slop thrown past her onto her peach oriental rug. She screams in horror, turns to challenge the perpetrator of this atrocity, and seeing Lurch, screams again. In a panic, she tries to slam the door on Lurch, but, like the salesman's manual undoubtedly advised, he sticks his foot in the way. The door partially rips off its hinges. Lurch steps inside and shuts the door as best he can. A moment passes. The door swings open and Lurch exits, jauntily waving a check. Cut to Interior Daycare Center day. Morticia is telling a story to a group of toddlers, who have gathered in a circle around her, sitting on carpet squares. The room is sunny and cheerful, with crayon drawings taped to the walls.
And so the witch lured Hansel and Gretel into the candy house by promising them more sweets. And she told them to look in the oven, and she was about to push them in when, lo and behold, Hansel pushed the poor defenseless witch into the oven instead, where she was burned alive, writhing in agony. Now, boys and girls, what do you think that feels like?
After a beat, all the toddlers begin to cry and wail. Cut to exterior Wampum bungalow day. Granny holds a club behind her back as she stalks something.
Here, kitty, 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 kitty.
Cut to interior Wampum bungalow, same time. Eating compulsively from a box of Malamars, Gomez is still stretched out on the naked box springs. He stares vacantly at a game show on TV. Jeopardy is on.
Monsters of History for $200. He was known as the Butcher of Bavaria.
Grandfather Addams. Damn! Not in the form of a question.
Cut to exterior bungalow, same time. Granny, running now, club raised, hurries past the open window of the bungalow. She stops at the sight of Gomez inside, standing on the bed, staring at the television. Close up on the TV set, Gomez is now watching Geraldo Rivera, hosting his tabloid-style show.
Voodoo zombies are stuff of legend or a living nightmare? Do zombies really exist? How are they made? Where can we find them? Call in with your comments.
A call-in number is flashed on the screen. Gomez reaches for the phone. Cut to interior Addams Mansion dining room day. Abigail and Gordon are seated at opposite ends of the table having lunch. It is very quiet.
After lunch, we'll try again.
Yes, Mother.
We'll find the money, and meanwhile, we have this little nest, quiet and cozy, without that dreadful family.
Yes, Mother.
Just the two of us, away from the world. Our dream came true.
Yes, Mother.
As Fester repeats yes, mother, in his drone, Abigail mimics him silently. Cut to
Yes,
interior bungalow an hour later. Close up on the TV screen, Geraldo is talking to a woman in the studio audience.
Your son was brainwashed by voodoo slave masters and forced to recruit others? Let's take a call.
Geraldo.
Mr. Addams, please stop calling. We don't know where they meet.
Pull back to the motel room. Gomez lets the phone drop. Morticia, seated on the edge of the box ring, tries to comfort him. Pugsley, Wednesday, and Lurch are seated nearby, very worried about Gomez, as at a death watch. Gomez is now surrounded by junk food and a mountain of junk food wrappers, bags, and styrofoam containers. Ritually, as handmaidens, Morticia brings Gomez the remote control for the TV, and Wednesday brings him a copy of TV Guide. Pugsley brings Gomez a bag of Doritos, and Lurch brings him a canister of Pringles. Gomez uses the remote to switch channels. An episode of The Cosby Show comes on.
Rerun.
He switches off the set and stares at the blank screen.
I don't understand. All he does is watch TV and eat.
I know. Gomez, let's go for a drive. The whole family.
The drive? And Miss Matlock?
Granny opens the door and sticks her head in.
Dinner's going to be late.
She slams the door. We hear her whistling.
Here, boy. Here, boy.
Cut to interior Waldman Court later. Morticia is putting Wednesday to bed.
If that man isn't Uncle Fester, then who is he, Mother?
I don't know, darling. I wish I did.
Why is that lady doing all this?
It's hard to say. Sometimes people have a terrible childhood, and sometimes they just haven't found their special place in life. And sometimes they're dogs from hell that must be destroyed.
Morticia kisses Wednesday and she closes her eyes to go to sleep. Cut to interior wampum, middle of the night. The family sleeps, all but Morticia. She sits up in bed beside Gomez. She looks around at her family. Wednesday sleeps in the same bed as Granny. Lurch is flat on the floor. Pugsley uses him for a mattress, and Thing uses Pugsley. Pugsley snores the inhale part of a snore. Lurch groans the exhale part, and Thing punctuates by wiggling. Morticia stares down at Gomez for a long beat. She strokes his hair lovingly. Full of resolve, she gets out of bed. Cut to interior Fester's bedroom night. Fester is lying in bed, the covers around his chin. Abigail sits on the bed beside him, tucking him in.
I know why you've been so glum. It's because it's taking us a little longer than we'd hoped to find the gold. Isn't that right?
Fester turns away depressed.
Of course it is. Well, don't you worry. We're right on the verge tomorrow for certain, my darling. You know, some people might think it's strange for a mother and son to be so close. I think it's beautiful. Don't you, Gordon? What?
Yes, Mother, it's beautiful.
Look, I'm weeping.
Abigail exits. The minute the door shuts, Fester gets out of bed. He's fully clothed. He goes to the window and begins to climb out. Cut to exterior bungalow later. Morticia, fully dressed, wearing her cloak, heads off down the walk. Unseen by her, Thing trails after. Cut to exterior gate a little later. Morticia, just outside gate, struggles to get it open. Thing clutching the bars, also attempting to block her way.
Stop it, you two.
Morticia breaks free of Thing. Cut to exterior Addams mansion a little later. Tully opens the front door. He smiles maliciously at the sight of Morticia on the stoop.
I would like to speak with Fester.
Tully steps aside.
Expecting you.
Morticia crosses the threshold. Cut to exterior intersection at the foot of the Addams Hill one night. Thing does his damnedest to flag down any of the few oncoming cars. He waves to no avail, dances around in frustration, then tries hitchhiking, sticking out his thumb. A passing car splashes him with mud. Screwing up his courage in a kamikaze leap, he grabs a hold of the bumper of the next car that comes along and hangs on for dear life as the car speeds down the street. Cut to Interior study a little later. Morticia is now stretched out on the torture rack. Fester and Tully are securing her hands and feet under Abigail's supervision. Fester seems torn, agitated, upset.
You are a desperate woman consumed by greed and infinite bitterness. We could have been such friends.
I don't think so. The vault, Mrs. Addams. Any thoughts?
Despite everything, I don't hate you. I pity you. Persecution, fiendish torture, inhuman depravity. Sometimes it's just not enough.
Gordon, let's get started.
But, Mother,
Stop stalling.
I'm not stalling. Stop badgering me.
Tully, take over. Tighten it.
I'd love to, but I've got the stomach thing. When I torture people, it's just me.
Do it.
Where's your bathroom?
Now.
Tully shuts his eyes and tightens the rack. Morticia's bones make a horrible popping, stretching sound. She moans rather sensually.
Oh.
Do it again.
Tully tightens the rack again. More bone-popping noises. Morticia moans again, even more orgasmically.
Oh.
Tighter.
Tully tightens the rack a third time. Bone-popping noises. Morticia moans very voluptuously. She opens her eyes. She sighs in afterglow. She glances at Tully.
Oh. You've done this before.
Cut to exterior Wampum Court night. A hand possessed. Thing races up the driveway, raising dust as he goes. Exterior bungalow night. Thing leaps dramatically onto the porch, then stops dead to knock on the cabin door. After a beat.
What is it? We're paid through Thursday.
He opens the door. Thing rushes in. Cut to interior bungalow minutes later. Thing skitters on the kitchen counter, frantically signing. In the background, the rest of the family sleeps.
Slow down. Thing, it's terrible when you stutter.
Frustrated Thing grabs a spoon and begins tapping at Morse code.
Morticia, in danger. Stop. Send help at once. Stop!
Thing flops down in exhausted triumph. Gomez grabs him and heads off. Cut to Gomez's study a few minutes later. Morticia is now lashed to an enormous torture wheel. Tully and Abigail are tending the stick branding iron stuck in the roaring fire.
You can't. Not with the red-hot pokers.
It's gonna smell.
Tully Alford, charlatan, deadbeat, parasite. How Gomez adored you.
Well, not enough.
Morticia, please.
Dear Fester, or whomever you are, which is the real you? The loathsome, underhanded monster you've become? Or the loathsome, underhanded monster we came to love?
Don't ask me.
Fester, I saw you tonight at my window. I know it was you.
Gordon.
I was restless. I couldn't sleep.
Gordon, I have a thought. Just a notion, top of my head. Tell me what you think, since you and Mrs. Addams are so very close.
Abigail takes a red hot poker out of the fire and hands it to Fester.
Be my guest.
Cut to interior Duesenberg night. Gomez cuts the engine. The car glides silently through gate, who opens uncharacteristically without a creak. Gomez stops the car and skulks out. Thing skulks after him. Gomez sees the reflections of the roaring fire through the study window. Cut to interior study, same time, as Fester takes the poker and approaches Morticia. Gomez crashes through the window in a backflip. Thing judo flips in after Gomez.
Cara mia.
Mon cher.
Addams.
Thing tosses Gomez a saber off the study wall. Tully also grabs a saber and approaches Gomez from behind.
Darling, take care.
Without even looking, Gomez parries Tully's blow from behind. Then he whirls on Tully.
Dirty pool, old man. Never again.
This is for keeps, Gomez, not just to blooms.
Tully feints, then slashes, shredding the front of Gomez's jacket.
One for you, Tully. And
Gomez attacks, his blade flashing like lightning. In a blur of action, Tully's sword is knocked from his hand and he's sent tumbling backwards, finally landing on his knees.
one for me.
Tully looks up at Gomez with cowardly, pleading eyes.
Gomez, it's Tully. I'm your lawyer. I'm on retainer.
Let him up.
Gomez turns to see Abigail, who now has a pistol aimed at Morticia. One shot, and Morticia will die horribly. Gomez throws aside his sword. Tully scrambles to his feet.
That's right. Now get moving, Addams. Take him to the vault, and if you're not back in 1 hour, I displace her.
Gomez is near enough now to take Morticia's hand on the torture wheel.
Tish, seeing you like this, my blood boils.
As does mine.
This wheel of pain.
Our wheel.
Close up on Fester, confused at watching this emotional display.
To live without you, only that would be torture.
A day alone. Only that would be death.
Gomez kisses Morticia's hand.
Knock it off! The vault, Addams, right now!
But, Mother, can't we?
Gomez reaches for the book that will open the secret panel.
Can it, Gordon? Stop dragging your feet. You disgust me. You're nothing but a useless sniffling baby. A stone around my neck. What was I thinking? I should have left you where I found you.
At Abigail's final words, Fester suddenly leaps forward.
No tricks, Gomez. That's the wrong book.
Close up, Gomez's hand is on the right book, Greed, but Fester stops him from pulling it.
Allow me.
Gomez looks into Fester's eyes, realizing what he's about to do.
Good show, old man.
Fester reaches for a different book, Hurricane Irene, Nightmare from Above. Seeing the title of the book, Tully suddenly panics.
Put that book down, Gordon. You don't know. You don't know what it can do. It's not just literature.
Oh, really?
I'm your friend, Gordon. Think of the doubloons.
They're not yours, Tully. Back off.
Angle on Gomez releasing Morticia from the torture wheel.
Quickly, my darling.
He helps her down from the wheel.
Leather straps, red hot pokers.
Later, my dearest.
Angle on Fester facing off with Abigail as Tully cowers.
Keep the book closed, Gordon. Listen to Mother.
I'll never listen to you. Not ever again.
I had to be strict with you because I cared. Put it down.
You never really loved me.
Angle on Gomez and Morticia nearing the bookcase.
Come, my love, to safety.
But what of Fester?
Old man, this way.
Angle on Abigail and Fester.
Stop whining, you little good-for-nothing. Be a man.
You're a terrible mother. There. I said it.
Fester opens the book and blasts Tully out of the window. Then he blasts Abigail out as well. Angle on Gomez, who has now pulled the right book, Greed, to open the bookshelf. Amid the storm, he is leading Morticia behind the bookshelf. He tries to hold the bookshelf open for Fester to follow, fighting the gale-forced winds.
Old man, this way!
Angle on Thing across the room, struggling across the floor toward the bookshelf. Thing fights the wind, which pelts him with papers and other flying debris. Gomez can no longer fight the storm, and the bookshelf slams shut. Fester desperately tries to close the book to quell the storm, but a huge bolt of lightning zaps him. He falls to the floor with electricity coursing through him. Move in on the storm raging within the pages of the book. Then, fade to black. Fade in on exterior Addams mansion next October night. A group of little children approach the front door. There's a hand-lettered sign on the door reading, Halloween Open House. The children are dressed in traditional Halloween costumes. There's a witch, a ghost, a skeleton, etc., and they all carry trick-or-treat bags. They giggle and chatter. One of the children is pushed forward, and he knocks on the front door. As the door opens, the children chant, They freeze in mid-chant. We do not see who has opened the door, but the children do. After a beat, they scream in horror and run, terrified, back toward the street. Cut to interior front hall, same time. Lurch is closing the front door, looking puzzled. The family is busily decorating the house for their annual Halloween festivities. All the decorations are elegant, yet ancient, dusty, and faded. The crystal gloves and the chandeliers have been replaced by miniature jack-o'-lanterns. Skeletons, each wearing a top hat, hang from the sconces by the nooses around their necks. There are clusters of black and orange balloons covered with cobwebs. Uncle Fester and Thing are draping the banisters and stairway railings with a garland made from crepe paper, dead branches, and Spanish moss. Skulls, each holding a candle, are scattered about on the stairs and the furniture. A stuffed life-size scarecrow leans against the stairway with a pitchfork through its throat. A banner on the wall reads, Happy Halloween, and the letters drip with blood. Gomez hangs upside down from the balcony. Morticia hands him a decoration. Granny appears from the kitchen carrying a tray of food.
Well, it's their loss. I even made finger sandwiches.
Perched on Fester's shoulder, Thing shakes in fear.
Oh, calm down.
Here we come!
Wednesday and Pugsley come down the stairs. Wednesday is dressed in her usual style, but Pugsley is dressed as a teeny version of Uncle Fester, complete with bald head and great coat. The adults are delighted. Gomez flips down onto his feet.
Pugsley, old man.
Look at you.
How do you like it?
Fester's very touched. He picks Pugsley up.
What can I say? He's gonna break hearts.
Let's get a picture. Lurch.
Oh, yes, in the den.
Everyone starts to move toward the den. There is a knock on the door. Everyone turns. Lurch opens the door. Standing outside are Margaret and Cousin It. Margaret is dressed as a fairy princess, complete with wand. Cousin It wears a cowboy hat, a bandana, and a holster. Margaret is radiant, obviously very much in love.
Trick or treat.
Woot woot, glimmer.
Look, everyone, we have guests.
Hello, Margaret, Cousin It. I almost didn't recognize you.
Isn't he handsome? Everyone keeps asking where he bought his costume.
It is a wonderful hat.
And what are you, darling? Where's your costume?
This is my costume. I'm a homicidal maniac. They look just like everyone else.
Cut to interior dining room a few minutes later. Fester and Pugsley are posed at one end of the room. Lurch has set up an easel and canvas. He is painting Fester and Pugsley's portrait. Gomez and Wednesday are sitting on the floor amid newspapers, carving a pumpkin. Morticia is knitting. Margaret and Cousin It sit together, holding hands. Granny brings people cups of steaming punch from a punch bowl.
Halloween, it's such a special time. Ghosts, goblins, witches, on broomsticks.
Children begging in the streets.
I'm so glad I can share this night with my family, my real family, now that I got my memory back.
That unfortunate woman filled with evil. But not enough.
She wasn't your mother. She just said that.
Oh, you remember, old sport. She really did find him tangled in a tuna net 25 years ago. With amnesia.
From the Bermuda Triangle.
How true. Stranger things have happened.
I'm sorry, I'm not bitter, but I blame Tully.
Woot, blip, blip.
Oh, stop, I'm blushing.
Thank God for that lightning. Knock some sense into you.
Please, Uncle Fester.
Pugsley.
For the picture?
Fester pops a light bulb into his mouth. It lights. Pugsley giggles. Gomez stands up, having finished the pumpkin. He places it on a table and lights the candle inside. The pumpkin glows. It has one eye in the middle of its forehead. Everyone oohs and ahs.
You know, all the old sayings are true. There's no place like home, and blood is thicker than water.
And just as refreshing.
All right, everybody. Time for a game. What shall it be? Bobbing for apples?
Charades?
Woot, blip, blip.
Of course, wake the dead.
Wake the dead!
Wake the dead! Out of the cemetery! Come on, everyone!
Everyone starts to exit, chattering happily.
I've never played this before. How does it go?
Did you bring a shovel?
Uncle Fester, will you be on my team?
No, mine.
I'll tell you what, we'll give you a head start, 3 skulls and a pelvis. How's that?
Pugsley and Wednesday cheer and run out. Fester faces Gomez.
My own dear brother, who could be more precious?
Blood is thicker than water, old man.
And just as refreshing.
Gomez offers his hand. Fester takes it in a manly handshake.
Let us never be parted.
Let us always be one.
Fester flips Gomez in a judo flip. Gomez lands at the foot of a glass display case. The camera pans up the case. It contains Abigail and Tully, expertly mounted and stuffed. Fester rises, dusting himself off.
Come on.
We'll catch up.
Fester runs out. Cut to interior front hall. Everyone is gone. Morticia and Gomez have drifted into the front hall. They're moving toward the front door.
Our family. What are they?
Oh, Tish, what a night. Everyone together at last. What more could we ask?
Gomez?
Morticia holds up the garment she's been knitting. It's a baby jumper with 3 legs.
Cara mia. Is it true?
Oui, mon cher.
They embrace as the front door swings open of its own accord. Cut to exterior, Addams mansion, same time. Morticia and Gomez are silhouetted in the doorway. There's a full moon. In the distance, a wolf howls. Wispy ghosts flit through the night sky. A human scream is heard, followed by Granny's cackle. In the cemetery, torches are seen like fireflies. Fade out. The end.
Yay!
Thank you for watching. We'll see y'all at the next one.